Trying to get What's up, everybody? Welcome to your Game Over Greggy show pre-show for whatever the fuck number episode this is. I don't know. I don't count. That's 263. Impossible. 214. I'm one of your pre-show hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Cool Greg.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Over there, so Lame Tim.
Lame Tim.
And then
Yeah, we do. Not much.
Christmas in January, Joey Noah.
I love that.
Oh, hey, what up?
It's so good.
It's like, I wasn't big on it at first, and it's grown on me.
Thomas has the most important question in the chat. Cool Greg, did you watch Wrestle Kingdom last night?
Nah, man. I don't got the greatest internet at the house to be doing all that kind of extra shit.
Sure.
It's not my plan.
Gotcha.
I heard it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I gotta watch that match sometime. Did you see Mega Ran went there?
Yeah, I did, and his seats were even beat.
Mega Ran is insane, man.
I hate him so much.
Oh, here comes the producer/producer Nick Scarpino. He's getting here.
Stars
also
coming.
here.
It's a laptop.
It's a laptop show. We have an intense topic. We're gonna go.
We have a couple intense
says
topics.
2 LaCroix, 1 Tim. That's a viral video I can
You
get
just
behind.
got done having the tummy ache.
Your gut's been all fucked up.
Here's the thing.
What?
You know how much coffee I've had?
Yeah.
None. I've been on tea. I've been drinking tea.
Yeah.
I've been
Less
drinking a
acidic.
lot of water.
Yeah, he's right. He hasn't had any coffee. That checks out.
That does check out.
What the
Speaking
fuck
of coffee,
did you
I
just
should get some
do?
coffee.
You can tell if you grab that my finger. And you'll be able to tell. You can't do it. You
Grab my
can't
finger.
do
How much
it.
coffee have I had?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
I can feel it. It's like a dividing rod,
Trust
dude.
you guys with things. I look up to you. I trust you. I think
silly-
that you
silly
give me
maneuver.
reliable information, but I have to give you the look right in your eyes because you'll break.
Oh, I'll break.
always
I'll always break eventually. Yeah. Cameron Abbott says no spoilers. He's watching the Alpha vs Omega match right now. We don't know what happened, I think. Don't worry about it. What's up now?
Did you email me that link to that IGN article or?
I can't wait to meet you. You're live, by the way, so don't forget. Don't forget you're live. I'm sure you do.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. Yeah, cool. This is the pre-show now.
Hardware out, yeah.
Hell yeah.
SisQo, can I get you to bring your chair up?
Right here?
No, he's
No,
not
the
like
chair.
you grab the
okay.
chair thing and bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Balance
go.
everybody
There
out,
you go.
yeah.
There you go.
We're in the house.
Yeah,
Y'all
okay.
didn't get me the broke chair, did you?
No, that's the new chair, SisQo.
Oh, that's a brand new
It's
chair.
the best one.
Hey, I got the best chair.
Yeah.
Mr. Yasman300 says, Greg, will you wear your Wonder Woman costume for Kinda Funny prom? No, of course not. Come on, I'm not going to repeat a bit at another Kinda Funny live show. I got to come up with something new. Something
Yeah.
It's not a kind of
the
live
hotness.
show, though.
It is a Kinda Funny live show.
Is it?
Capital K, capital F, lowercase L.
Oh, I see.
Lowercase S.
I see. Sorry. I got confused.
Charles says, damn, that shirt is dope. Of course he's talking about party mode.
I love that SisQo just gets to hang out with Maya. That just makes me happy.
I wrote our first 2 singles. So
That is amazing.
So she owes you.
I understand, Cameron. He's talking about that. Nick, so as Joey pointed out, we're not going to give away your topic yet, but you have your computer out. You have an in-depth topic here.
Yeah, I have like a serious topic that I want to shoot past you guys.
Who wrote Case of the X?
I think it looks great, Kevin.
the
monitor just went out for whatever
guys
reason.
that did
The monitor just went out. Now it's green.
Oh, it's a
Now it's
possessed. We're
fuzzy.
haunted.
Now it's showing me the ring.
And dude, she could still like really
Ringu,
cut
as they say in
close.
Japan.
She could still perform really well.
That's awesome.
I don't know. What
Anyway, real topic. I want to talk to you guys about some.
don't tell
some
me
fun
it.
stuff.
Don't tell me.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, tell people they're going to listen to it in a second.
Jericho in the chat says, is SisQo coming to Kinda Funny prom?
I don't know. Y'all got to book me.
June 30th.
I might have a musical guest.
We're not getting ahead of ourselves there.
We'll have to talk to his manager. That's how this works.
SisQo has a Kevin also, and he's a lot more like
His
hard to
Kevin's
negotiate with.
actually
than
named Kevin.
He, you know, we
Oh, interesting.
I did a
Now
song
it's
with
black
Mega
screen
Ran.
over there too for them.
What?
Everybody's
Can you
saying
say
black
that?
screen on the
Yeah,
live show.
yeah.
Is it out?
yeah, it's called Church.
Did you
It's on his
change,
new
the setting on
something.
the device because maybe it's not going through the system anymore.
I did it
Oh,
the
shit.
day I saw y'all at
Everything went out.
E3.
Did you knock a cable out?
I didn't touch shit.
Is the camera still on?
It's me, dude. I'm
Yeah, we're all
hot.
still on. Can they hear us still?
Let us know if you guys can.
Audio's still alive.
Audio is still
Video
on.
is dead.
You might get a live podcast. That's just a podcast. We'll see what's up.
Every time I come here,
Oh shit, the
somebody
recorder stopped
leaves.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
This time it was the feed.
Yep.
I've never seen this before.
Andy, how you doing? Yeah? Good. Cool.
Why always when guests come?
I mean, it doesn't work that well when it's just us either, Kevin.
Let's be honest.
We're still recording, right?
No. Well, we're still streaming.
No, you're not.
So no. All right, now we're all done.
All right, thanks. Good time. Good time. Good time.
All right, guys,
Just
are ready?
saying they can hear us.
We won. We did it.
They can still hear us. We are still live.
Nothing's happening.
Why? Remember, this has to catch up, though.
Oh, you know what? I think the squisher.
Amy Gilroy, please remain calm. There's no need to panic.
Back in the audio is that.
I totally didn't
Okay,
tell
well.
my fiance that y'all called me with.
Well, that sucks because all the settings are gonna be lost.
And then I did.
You
Like
didn't.
in passing, I was like, drink something.
You know the only
Chase Mango says, "SisQo, I love Get Away on the Christmas in Baltimore album. It's amazing."
Hey,
audio and everything.
thank you.
When we were getting everything ready, for the Christmas season, Jen's very much into Christmas music. We listened to the album. It's really good.
Well,
I liked it a lot.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what's up. They listened to the album, Cuzzo. Cuzzo, they checked out the Christmas album. They said they.
We
they said
nothing but love and support from Kind of Funny for SisQo. You know that.
I mean, I know it was a little, soul.
I got soul.
Yeah,
It was sexy.
Yeah. It was sexy for sure.
y'all went straight
I didn't say we finished the record in the tree. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, Andy? Because when you do like, you know what I'm saying?
He's talking about fucking Andy.
Oh dear.
Bump up, bump up, bump up, bump up. That was a old school.
We are working
70s.
on the video
like ABBA.
Are they?
to the people.
Oh,
listening.
good. Good.
I've been
That's great.
cheated by you since I don't know when. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. That was playing yesterday at the Draft
man.
House.
I would
I
if
went to
this
see
thing.
I,
worked.
Tonya.
Did you see the trailer for that
Oh, you
Mamma
saw
Mia
that? Don't
2?
tell me about it. I want to see
Did I
it.
see the trailer for what?
Mamma Mia 2? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh.
And, when you're at the bar at the Draft House, they're just playing music. They were
I think
playing
it's
only
because-
ABBA.
You like
Okay.
There's movies
you like
coming
scary movies, man?
Scary movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like scary movies. My girl don't no more though. After the kids.
It's gonna sound intense.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
scary
Yeah,
movies
Mama.
are about kids now. You know what I
that's
mean?
not
That's the
so
scariest
good at all.
thing. Losing the kid's a devil.
Dad and the kid.
Huh? Getting a kid, that's the scary
Or
movie.
kids in general.
Yeah.
That's a part of my question too.
You're part of the topic. Don't get
Our
don't,
kid.
Don't burn it.
I'm not going.
Our kid.
My kids, we call them mischief and mayhem.
Thomas says this is the first GOG they did totally naked in the video cutout.
Sorry, guys. I am working on it.
Kevin, we're not mad at you. Don't worry. This is why we do the pre-show.
You guys have
Kinda.
fun.
Oh man, when we did Christmas in Baltimore, we went up to
Fucking switcher decided to shit the bed.
Billboard, and they had the number ones, the book of number ones, and I was in there.
Oh, shit.
Ironically, right next to NSYNC.
I love it. I love it.
Let me see.
My dudes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the number ones, Jack.
Ignacio Rojas says, I'm currently watching The Simpsons. Can The Simpsons ever be a topic?
I love The Simpsons.
Still? To this day?
No.
Okay.
I'm just joking. No. I still watch it though.
Really?
I still watch it.
I loved
but
The
it's-
Simpsons.
It's not as funny as because it used to be funnier than Family Guy. Now Family Guy
Family Guy's
is
way better.
really,
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
Is Family Guy still funny though?
Yo, it's
I
even
feel like
funnier.
everything except South Park fell off.
See,
And even South Park had some rough patch
Fell off for a while.
for like a season. It had one bad
I
season.
was watching it.
Did it? Have
Really?
you
I
watched
think
the
it
new
had
shit?
like 2 or 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I feel like when PC Principal started coming along, like there were some funny parts, but it was still the whole season I just didn't care about.
Because there was those season where they went more narrative, where every episode built to the next, and I think that was a little rough. But then
Nobody
since then,
told
they
me to put
kind
my
of
glasses on. It was night.
came back around.
That's the kids.
Oh man,
Nobody
mischief
told
and
me.
mayhem.
Hey, video! I've
fuck.
been
We're back.
cheated
Christ,
by
thank
you
God.
Since I don't know
I
when.
have no idea what happened.
Kevin dropped some peanut butter on the keyboard.
No, the whole thing just decided to turn itself off.
You think it's a protest? A
I mean,
walkout?
it crashed.
Yo, I meant to send y'all
I've never
our
had
ugly
this shit
Christmas
crash
story.
where like
Oh, wow, that's
Sky
awesome.
Cam's out. There's a whole bunch of things that are still out.
That's legit.
Now, Dennis J says Simpsons greater than Family Guy, and I cannot abide by that anymore. Simpsons
no.
used to be great.
I watch Simpsons for entertainment now, because I like animation. But
Sure.
Yeah, not
know
sure
if
why
it's
Program
as
2
funny
is showing that,
as it used to
but
be.
We got Mia Khalifa in the chat.
Really?
Hey,
Do we
baby.
really?
What a Mia?
Team Maryland.
all right. I mean,
Where is she? I don't see her.
we should be
I mean, people
fine.
are talking to her, so I assume she's here.
No, there she is. Yeah.
Y'all
yeah.
got some good.
I have so
There
much
we
fear
go.
of missing out right now.
Y'all got some good
You won't
ass
miss
eyes.
out at Kind of Funny Prom, June 30th, Mia Khalifa.
Kinda funny.
She's coming. See, she commits.
Oh, she said
she
that?
doesn't need to go talk to the guy who's got him on a leash.
We gotta talk to him.
Oh, I
ASAP.
love that. I love that. That was good. That was a good one.
I got him. I got
Good
SisQo.
good old male ego pride.
There you go. There you go.
Man, you're
I'll show you who's the boss.
so much.
Tom Bach says, Greg, the beard is starting to grow on me a little. I'll tell you what, you are in the minority,
Starting to
Tom
grow on him a
Bach.
little, too.
Everybody loves the beard as it's coming in.
You know what? I've been hearing the same thing. Teen baby beard, baby.
Team baby,
Baby
beard.
beard, baby.
Yeah, but SisQo, your beard is like cool.
I drew half of this on.
There it is.
Greg,
Whoa,
you
that's
just gotta
old
get
as
through this
shit.
stage right now.
Yeah,
You just gotta
it's-
just lay down.
Okay,
right
that
now
was
it's just
not the
poking
right
out.
build.
I heard you just gotta let it go, right?
Gotta let it go,
Come on,
man.
You beard aficionados. You just gotta let
Oh,
it
this
I like
happens,
mine to
man.
get like gangly, but my wife hates it. She starts going like this.
Gangly. You should never describe
Yeah,
it as
that's
gangly.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to be
Weird
gangrene.
word.
That's not
What
what
the
you want to
fuck?
be.
Where did
Gangly?
camera
Yeah.
4 come
Gangrene?
in and out of?
Gangrene's also bad. It's
Gangrene's
also
bad.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Burly. Should I be
ladies
burly?
been
Burly's
loving
good.
Less?
Burly Men at Sea.
Okay.
Video game right
the
now.
old
Easy platinum.
Soup strainer.
There you go.
The soup strainer.
Yeah, that's
Are we back to recording this?
I
stuff,
don't like.
Not 100% yet.
That was a Ned Flanders
I'm really
joke, by the
scared
way.
because
I liked it.
Soup strainer.
Skycam is going in and out,
Back to the Simpsons.
Okay.
and that was what happened with the front camera. It went in and out, and then everything crashed again. I'm just scared that I don't know what to do if it crashes during.
Well, here's the thing, Kev.
We have the YouTube stream.
Can't you locally record on the cameras too?
It's a great call.
Dude, both the things just record. If it goes black, we'll just run with it. Keep going.
We'll have
You'll
to.
try to
we'll
get it
have
back.
to pause just in case
Cool.
it crashes.
Just like let us
hard
know what
crash.
happens. But
Yeah,
then-
let's record just that middle cam and the audio, and at least then we can rip that out. And
All right, give me 1 second.
Mr. Yasmin at
CF
300.
cards on my desk if you need them.
Where's that XLR card cable we had over there?
Greg, did you see The Rock tweeting back at Meg Turney? I did see that yesterday.
XLR
You see that?
cable
Rock
and
talking to Meg?
I didn't.
Meg tweeted out that she liked the Jumanji, and he responded.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of
Dude,
people like Jumanji.
I found my. I like. That's see.
Thing is,
I'm
I
not
give-
gonna go in it. Let's not go
I
into
know,
it.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
know,
everybody
but
say that.
I love The Rock so much, and when I watched Baywatch, I was a
There you
bit
go.
disappointed with that. That was unfortunate. So I'm glad that he's kicking it.
Baywatch was bad.
Oh my god, that's amazing, dude. What were you guys like 14 in that picture?
Right, right. It looked
You guys
like
are
wax
babies.
figures.
Him and The Rock.
The Rock still got
14
hair.
years old.
That was
Dude,
like
that was
ages
at the
ages
Teen
ago.
Choice Awards when Aaliyah gave me the 2 Teen Choice Awards. God rest her soul.
Yeah, Leah. Rock
See,
the boat.
one of the fun things about having SisQo on is that no matter how cool my stories are, he's got his normal stories are
And I
way
like
cooler
that
than mine.
your story was just The Rock had hair once.
That wasn't even my story. I was piggybacking on top of Cisco's story.
yeah,
on that
I
one.
know.
I don't have a picture
Your
of myself. with Rock.
contribution.
I got nothing.
I freaking love
I'm just trying to add a little flavor to the soup, if you know what I mean. It's very flavorful already. Apparently.
Oh man.
Now this is an interesting one from Josh. Josh says, I'm ignoring the
you just
80s,
record on the
90s
flash
theme for prom. Just going to go full Kingsman style rocking a tailored suit.
There will be a style guide released at some point for what is acceptable for the prom.
Okay.
We'll just sync it.
Is that going to be acceptable?
That has
That's
sync. Yes.
100%
That's what they did in
acceptable.
school,
Okay.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
They
Because
did
the
that
thing
in
about
school.
prom is there's a theme. You don't need to commit to the theme. You could also just come in a prom dress, prom suit, I guess. That's
Yeah.
what it's called.
Suit.
Powder
Prom
blue.
suit.
Yeah.
Powder blue. Yeah.
Prom dresses are a specific thing.
Mia Khalifa says none of your stories are cool, Nick.
Damn.
I really hope that's the real Mia Khalifa.
No, it
because
is, it
It
is.
sounds like her.
Absolutely.
Like just from the
Just
tone in
from
that,
that?
sentence, it is bringing me back to when she came up and visited us and made fun of me for doing yoga and not being a man
It's true. All of those things are
all
true.
day long.
It was awesome when I pretended not to know who she was.
Yeah, who did you think? You thought you were talking to Joey, wasn't it, or something? I forgot who he was.
Wait, no, it was the.
Yeah, when I called you,
Yeah, because you had her. You had her on.
Janina, that's who you thought
Yeah,
you were talking to.
you
Yeah,
had her
yeah.
on-
Yeah, yeah.
on.
We had her on like the week prior.
We have celebs rolling through nonstop right here.
Slightly
We're a
racist.
big, moderately big deal.
Okay,
a little
guys.
bit racist because they're both like that's word.
Where do you sit with the Lord of the Rings?
Is it better than Clerks?
The walking simulator? No, I mean,
Yeah, there we go.
no.
That
That's
answers
where
it.
it answers everything. Get the fuck out.
No. Stop. Pause. Because this goes into my topic.
His
so
topic.
I don't want to
save it.
But
We'll save it for the show.
You got to ask me on the show.
Just heads up, everybody. The P.O. Box is P.O. Box 22541, San Francisco, California, 94122. That's where you can send all the cream for Andy's burn, because he just got burned by SisQo.
No.
SisQo just burned your ass to the ground.
No. I'm not subscribing to that magazine.
I will subscribe all day long.
It was
Andy.
just I just thought that walking simulator was funny.
That was.
Because
I
it was a
thought-
walking simulator for 8-9 hours.
Greg, can I get you to give me a clap, please?
Sure. This is a photo Jeff just sent us of Mia watching.
I love it.
It's not a video.
I know. I was still waiting.
Wait, so they're in Austin right now?
I assume. I don't know.
Or either she's here and she's not here, which is upsetting.
Hold on, she's chiming in. She's chiming in.
Jeff, the other Jeff.
No. Jeff.
Her Jeff.
Yeah, Mia Khalifa chiming in.
If you follow me at all, you know that when she arrives back in Austin.
I understand.
Because she burns down everything that has to do with California.
If
I get it. She's
around-
like, fuck LA.
She's around,
fuck
dinner's on me.
California.
Awesome.
Sierra kind of funny prom.
Kind of funny prom.
Doesn't roll off the
June
tongue yet, but
30th.
I'll get there.
Gotta get
All right,
that
you see,
prom
all right, if you're gonna
popping.
sit up now. I keep trying to adjust this to you, but you keep moving around.
Yeah, I'm
You're
a
dancer.
mover.
I know. You're born to dance. You're born to move.
You gotta move with the mic though. Bring the mic with you.
Yeah, you know this. You remember this? Remember this? Remember this?
All right, so
Alright,
we
cool.
are ready to rock and roll. Sorry for that hard stop, and hopefully nothing else goes wrong. We are recording locally there, and
So now, real quick before we.
fucker, the audio's not rolling. Give me another clap.
Sure.
There you go.
You're fine, Big Kev Doug. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
So real quick though, are you keeping the YouTube archive and then gonna rip the pre and post show from that?
Yeah, 100%.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure we were on the same
We'll
page.
include all that. There will be a lot of like.
Yeah, Panic and.
Hey man, this is what
like,
the pre-show's
just-
all
you won't be
about.
able to see it.
At the disco.
Yeah, exactly. It's Panic at the Disco.
Oh,
I sang with
fuck. It died again. It died
Oh, yeah,
again,
Panic
guys.
at the Cisco.
At the Cisco
Huh.
on
That's
Oh my
bad.
god. Yeah, it's not good.
Switcher's dying.
How is our switcher dying?
Huh.
That much I do not know.
Told you it's me, man. I'm just
It's just you, Cisco.
That's like
admitting
well, the camera's still rolling, and we just. It
It's-
keeps cutting audio.
it's my Super Saiyan. That's why I have my hair
Busting
covered.
through.
I tried to
Yeah, you gotta
Super Saiyan.
Is it a
one.
keep it in, man.
Power issue?
I always feared that there would be a power issue, but
So it's cutting audio here as well.
I don't know if the audio's just not rolling.
If you're listening, we know something's wrong. We're still looking into it.
Yeah,
It's out of space.
Yeah, that might be that space.
dude, I be
Dude, this fun.
listening to you guys on the podcast, and then you be doing stuff that has to be seen. So then it's like I'll listen to it like while I'm going to sleep, and you'll say something funny, and
Me neither.
I'm in the bed with my girl. The bed's like shaking because I'm trying to
Yeah,
be
you're trying
quiet.
not to laugh. Yeah.
Plenty of space.
But then
on
like the
the
next day,
thumbstick.
I'll watch the
Thank you.
video.
Give us that view. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I press like before I even watch it. Actually,
Thank you, buddy.
But party mode was I was very entertained, dude. That one that y'all did with when you was Jason.
Oh yeah. Party Mode's awesome. I love Party Mode so
That
much.
one and the first one I watched was when you guys were playing that PUBG.
PUBG. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And somebody's like,
Yeah. Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
Gotta get out there. Oh, yeah. Be on the run. Stay away from
so
me.
funny.
Fucking Andy.
I'm better on my own, man.
Oh,
Andy's out there
man.
trying to give advice. He didn't know what he's doing. Kevin and I are 20 times the PUBG players Andy is.
But I mean, even
Oh,
like,
that
when we do
Lone Wolf
tomorrow,
thing was hilarious.
We've got a whole day of shit planned.
They're over there discussing what the problem is. If
Yeah,
it's the
it's,
switcher
Now
problem
I
or
plugged it
whatever.
back in.
Technical issue. My
Looks
dad's
like-
an
looks like
electrician. I should have brought him with me.
We could use one of those.
I'm like, Dad, what's going on with those wires? He works at the casino in Baltimore.
I don't see the chat, so I assume they're fine. They understand what's happening. This is what the pre-show is all about, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Hanging out.
Just hanging out,
Having
being
good
friends, seeing
times.
what's up. Extra show, you know?
hanging out. Somebody.
See, this pre-show worth $1.
Oh, this totally. And it's going to be a lot of people's first pre-show. So now they really understand what's happening
What
over here.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they smell something burning over there now, too.
You guys talk
No,
to
I
Kyle?
don't think so.
Every once in a while?
Swisher,
Kyle.
not-
Oh, Colin, no.
Oh.
I said Kyle. I was like, I don't know Kyle.
Kyle.
We're back.
But for how long?
I don't know.
But for how long, deep?
think what we should probably
Every once in a while, he'll say what's up.
Oh, yeah.
on Twitter.
can you go directly into that for OBS, which is the camera?
I'm trying to figure they're saying direct out to OBS to the camera.
And I still, every time I come here, I still ain't going to IGN.
Really? Oh, you got to give up. Max and Brian would love to have you, I'm sure, for up at noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that'll be cool.
I think they did one today, right? It's Thursday.
Graphics and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how late they up there.
No, I know that. Yeah. Yeah, what, do you have to get out of here at a time?
Nah,
Okay, good. Just
not
making sure.
today.
No, I know.
Tomorrow's work.
Yeah, you're playing here SF tomorrow, right?
Yep, 10:15.
Folsom. Yeah.
That's all I knew.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? It's
10,
actually
15,
called
it's,
SF.
it's called 10:15
I saw
Folsom,
that.
and it's on 10:15 Folsom.
Okay, I saw SF, And
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the name of it.
Yeah, it's a cool place. We were actually gonna do Kind of Funny Live 2 there originally, and it ended up not being big enough for what we were trying to do. So then that's why we got the place you can to Regency.
Kevin and Nick are cracking the code here on how to make this work. If you're just joining us, the switcher's dying, apparently. And the switcher's kind of like the brain of the entire operation. Or I guess more like the eyes. It's the optical nerve that connects your eyeball to your brain. That's what the problem is. Yeah.
That was the nerdiest thing I heard today.
I'm a big fan of optic jargon and how the brain works.
Oh, okay. No, that's something else. Actually.
I can't, will I ever?
Do you do this a lot, dude? When you have a beard, is this?
I do it a lot now.
it's a
I've been
game
rubbing it
changer.
nonstop.
You'll never stop. You
I
just
used to
do it
say-
forever.
I used to say Strokes Invisible beard, now I have an actual.
There you go, and you just keep
Strokes
touching it.
actual beard.
I can't really smell that well, so
I catch myself on camera all the time, like
You
when,
go
I'm,
like
when
this?
I'm like rewatching
Pondering?
videos. I see myself just like playing. I'm like, shouldn't do that.
That's how you ponder. It's a thing.
well, but they're gonna get the audio no matter what, right? So if they don't get the visual, we'll
Here we go. I can see the chat now because I've opened it on Nick's computer. I hacked his password.
That's good.
Porn 69.
Yeah, nailed it.
Mia's also watching. It could be that when Mia watches this happens.
Mia Khalifa is an angel
Breaking
and a
the
saint,
internet.
and she didn't do this to us.
Mia's, was here. Is all I'm saying.
Ah,
Observation, guys.
yeah. So many people tuned in. Too much sexy for one.
Possible.
Podcast,
That is
man.
possible.
Too much sexy, baby.
Hannah says,
It's
Cisco,
interesting
which
having
is your
crashed
favorite
down, Nick.
Drew Hill album?
Because it only lasts 3 minutes.
Second
earlier.
one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why
That
is
was
that?
an easy answer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a hyper.
Maybe because I wrote the most on that album.
Okay. Fair.
No, actually, that was the album where we finally broke the pop market.
Oh, okay.
Because our first single that came out was our first number one across the board. It was the title track to Rush Hour. We shot the video in Hong Kong.
Hell yeah.
We hung out with freaking Jackie Chan, man.
How was that?
So cool.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Jackie Chan seems like a fun guy.
Yeah, man.
He came by IGN recently, actually.
No,
Yeah,
really?
like a month
'cause
ago
of that
for
movie.
the Foreigner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give Jackie the names. All right. Give Jackie the names.
I don't remember that.
That's what he kept asking for in the movie. That he wanted those names.
Oh yeah, that last one. Yeah.
Give me
Oh,
the
and Foreigner.
names.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I never watched.
Very lucky that he
I was like, is that a Rush Hour round? I
It
don't get it.
I was like, I haven't seen Rush Hour in a long time, but I don't remember
No,
that.
it wasn't Rush Hour. It was
was Foreigner, yeah.
the Foreigner.
Now here, Monday
He's got
Busk
no-
says, can Mia Khalifa and Cisco be the new models for Kind of Funny merch? I think
Oh, I
that's a
like
dynamite
that.
idea.
How would that pose be?
However you want.
That's what she said. Literally.
Amy Gilroy says, so you're saying Cisco broke Kind of Funny's optical nerve. I am saying that. Yeah.
That's what happened.
It was a combined sexy of Mia and me.
Every time Cisco does, or I'm sorry, Kevin does something over there, he
gets
screams,
so,
what the
like,
fuck?
You guys have no idea how weird this is.
No, I hear
we
you, bro.
have an
Like
idea.
now, OBS is breaking.
Snow day?
Oh, is this a yeah? Is this a Oh, it's snowing on the East Coast, and it's freaking freezing in Minnesota.
So are you about to restart OBS?
Oh no, that was a hyperdrive. Got it.
Cool.
Engage.
There it is.
All right,
Punch it.
there you go.
Sorry, we're almost there. I think.
It's all good.
Kevin,
man. Take your time.
You're dealing with extenuating circumstances. No one's here to get on you.
confidence level.
On what? Snack.
I mean, the whole thing might just be overheating. Want to open like this window?
But like we've been in like 100-degree weather, and the stuff is hasn't
It's cutting out
overheated.
over there. I see it.
I restarted this guy now. So I think what I'm gonna do is pump the audio out from audio 1 here. Think into this should do that, and try to record locally. and,
Thomas says, would it be easier just to tell us what isn't broken? TV seems to be doing fine.
We actually have something called a hyperdrive, and
That's pretty cool.
I love
That's
that.
pretty
Kevin's
cool.
either an asshole lying, or that's awesome.
I said that should already be set to take in an XLR cable.
Yeah, my only issue is does out one
Hi, Joey.
actually send
Nothing.
out all. Why would you be sure?
I speak positive.
Okay.
I was actually going to wear a different shirt today that got to my hotel when I got here. Good times.
What happened to this? Why didn't you?
It was shipped to the hotel.
Oh.
When I got here and got there.
Got it.
Oh,
What was
I
the shirt
gotcha.
going to be?
Huh? I'll wear it to the next thing.
All right.
Okay, I like this.
I like it.
It
SisQo
was
teasing his
sexy, a
next
totally
appearance.
different color. Totally different color.
I mean,
All right, Mr. Yasman.
pulling the right track here.
He continues to say this. Tim, I'm sure you've seen this. 2 new seasons of Animaniacs coming to Hulu.
I saw.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
love
time
Animaniacs.
for
It's exciting.
Animaniacs. And the zany to
It
the
should have
max.
all the same compressions from us.
Where's baloney in our socks? We're Animaniacs. Totally insane. Shirley MacLaine. Animaniacs.
We both took the high note.
Hell yeah.
Oh, should have harmonized with you.
We're gaining right now. I want you to know. Oh, sorry, I'm bad at that. We're gaining right now our Patreon live stream on Funhouse's live stream of their podcast recording. They have
Funhouse.
2,000 people watching.
Uh-huh.
We have 300 people watching. So we're closing the gap.
Well
here.
on the way.
You mean more to us than their people mean to them, though.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tim Gettys. This is the GameOverGreggy show. It will work. I feel confident.
Hey, Soul Trapper in the chat says, first pre-show, gotta say I am not disappointed.
This is what you get, ladies and gentlemen.
We're recording there. We're recording.
Your thing just died again.
Now with audio feeding into it, we're about to run on the hyperdrive.
Your thing just died again.
Fuck,
So
really?
here's what we're gonna do.
well,
Let's
green.
bypass the system. The switcher's off now. That just died. I think the
We
switcher's
know we're
just
dead again.
How is it dying?
Well, I think
It's not as hot as it was the last time I was here. Who's that?
Hey, guys,
Oh, that's
give me
that
a-
wrestler.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool Greg's lady.
Dude, you have no idea how big a wrestling fan I was. The Rock was my favorite.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Hulk Hogan and Ricky Steamboat,
Oh, sure.
Macho Man, the
That comes
Ultimate
in.
Warrior.
Yeah.
I was like big in wrestling. I used to even do my promos like The Rock. Well, the dragon says. That's what I was going to do. Finally, the dragon has come back to kind of
What a
funny.
great gimmick that was. What a great, I mean, a cheap pop in every city he went to.
That's really bad.
Yeah, it's so good.
If you smell... That's the way I approached the stage. I was like, you approach the stage
Yeah.
like a wrestler.
Like a wrestler.
Just like attack the stage.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Keep that in mind when you guys are on stage next time.
Come here, get talk on mic. Come here, Cool Greg. Talk on mic.
A lot of interviews I see with rappers, they always say like rapping's just like wrestling. You go out there, you just gotta like own it and just like be in the character and just
Yeah.
fucking kill it. I'm just like, oh shit, man.
Oh wow, that must be those new guys,
Yeah.
the new rappers. Because back in the day, they was living that crap.
Almost there.
Kevin, don't worry, you're doing great.
Who you checking out now? Cool Greg, who you digging?
You want me to ditch?
Sit here, give him the audio, but this is a pre-show they deserve.
What?
I listen to a lot
What?
of like Trippie Red. I think he's killing. He's about to be on Drake's new album.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm hyped
okay,
about
okay.
that.
Do you know how to do that?
XXX
signal might be too
Temptation
much for this.
kills it. A whole bunch
Fucking
of all
tiny
the new
switcher,
guys.
though.
I'm like all the SoundCloud rappers. I like.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. It seemed like they've been
Well, it's
stepping it up
1080, but it's
recently.
10-bit.
I mean, yeah, they get a lot of hate, but
We don't
I-
have 8-bit
I
on the
kill it in
camera.
my eyes.
Dude, I like that new Eminem joint.
Yeah, you
What is it?
listen to that?
What is it called? White
Revival.
White rapper. Or
I know, we're
something?
rolling on that camera too.
Did you hear it?
White rapper. Oh no, Untouchable.
No, the newest one.
You talking about the single?
Yeah, Untouchable.
Yeah,
That's
it's called
what it is.
Untouchable. Yeah.
That was just a line in there where he said something about white rapper. I don't know. It was dope.
Yeah, the whole
though.
thing and the whole
It was
chorus.
like the
white
true,
boy, white boy,
right,
and
right,
black boy.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was the truest rhyme I ever heard ever.
Well, my favorite of all time is Jay-Z.
Hold on.
So
Yeah.
444
That's
is
me
like
too.
that was it. Like
Well, I just got them all in. It's Jay, Biggie, Pac. I don't have them in the order.
yeah, just
M,
guys.
Kendrick is dope.
Yeah, I think Kendrick's
I
one of
love
the big
Snoop
guys
Dogg.
I don't listen to at
I
all.
love Snoop Dogg.
I
It
just
just-
missed him. He was here for New Year's.
For
I decided
real?
not to go because he was at the Fillmore for 75, and I was like, I don't know, 75 is a little.
Dude,
it's a
you know how
little
many
much
hits
on
he
New
got?
Year's. Nah, I'm not saying it's too much for him, but it's just like a New Year's night, so much
Oh,
traffic.
New
Like, it's
Year's.
gonna be. There's so
That'll
much
do
things
it.
to do, you know.
Yeah,
75 on New Year's is a lot.
and
And
then
I
it's
end up
right-
partying with y'all.
Yeah,
so
you just came here and partied with
worked
us.
out.
But it's like right after the holiday. It's like pockets.
Yeah.
Rock like that.
Everybody. I was Santa Claus,
Just over a year.
like every Christmas.
Started in August last.
I saw Lil Uzi's coming out on January 31st.
Oh, for real?
I'm trying to get Nick to go with me. That'd be fun.
Dude,
See what's up with that.
Timberlake is
Oh, shit, that
performing
worked.
at the
Look at
Super
that.
Bowl in Minnesota,
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were working on that.
and
If you hit display, it does.
he's gonna rock because I like Timberlake. But man, had an opportunity to sing that anthem, but not this year. I won't. Not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh no, it's
Just sucks though.
If you hit display,
Sometimes you gotta ride.
Now Dustin says, "What about Tech 9? How do we feel about Tech 9?
Don't you listen to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But I mean, not like super actively.
yeah.
I just like his old stuff.
Dude, I don't. All I listen to is my own music.
Perfect the craft.
Yeah. I mean, but every once in a while, you
Damn,
know,
look how
something hot come through.
Yeah.
The colors
No, I'll
look
check it out.
totally different on this. Isn't that weird?
Cardi's killing it right now.
Bruh,
Like
I love Cardi, man.
you
That's my shit.
cannot. I mean, I believe her. That's what it's about. Do
Yeah.
I believe you? Yep, I do.
I've seen so many videos of her like in interviews before the fame, just throwing shoes at people.
Dude,
Like,
she
just doing
she-
crazy shit. I'm just like,
she
I
go
love it.
hamburgers.
Yeah.
It's like all real, no acts, no act. ACT.
So you out here tomorrow? You excited for that?
Nope. Let me stop. Absolutely.
It's till 3 I saw or 4. It's a late one.
Dude, I don't know. I
Still got the record button up there.
yeah, we can't get that off.
Okay.
So-
Is
I
that
gotta
for the
perform.
permanent one or
No,
for?
that's for just the audience
Okay.
that's watching
Just
live.
go SDI into the thing.
That's a lot smarter. Yeah, let's do that.
Give me a second.
That's how you do it. That's a good call. All right, everyone, we're almost there.
We're almost
Camera's
there.
so clean.
pee real quick then.
You want some coffee?
No, I got a beer.
Does anyone need anything? Thank you guys for all of your patience. Sorry, this pre-show ended up being its own show, but you guys were having a stirring conversation about
We're
lots
golden.
of stuff.
We're golden. That's my friends call me Goldie because my hair's bleach blonde.
Yeah, you guys might see the feed cut out a couple more times. What we're doing for anyone who cares is that we're bypassing our switcher, which seems to have taken a shit on itself, and we're going straight into the control computer via OBS. So
Never mind, cool, Greg.
We live, baby. We live.
We are still live. Everything's flowing.
yeah, thank God that's happening.
What were y'all talking about on the morning show? Some G something with some people running and steal some stuff.
Boom
Oh,
gang.
Boo Gang?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's. You was like, you know, it's a crime, right?
That was what I was saying. I'm like,
just have fun. Well, who's it fun to? It's like,
because I love it. It's
I thought
all
that
a
was
matter of
hilarious.
perspective. Because Cool Greg and I, obviously, like we've been described as two different sides of the same awesome coin.
No one's ever
Right.
described in that way.
That's how we've been
I've heard it both
described.
ways, Kevin.
But Cool Greg, the way he perceives the world is not the way I perceive the world. I look at that and I'm like, this guy is just mean and he's pulling pranks on people and he's breaking the law. Cool Greg looks at it and says he is not confined by the rules of humans. You know what I mean? Like he will not be kept down by the laws of civilization. He is Boont Gang or whatever. How do you say it? Boont Gang? Boont Gang?
Did he? So he stole a lobster.
Is there a T?
Yeah, no T. There's
Boonk Gang.
He
Whole
stole
lot of
a-
gang shit.
He
right?
stole a lobster.
He stole a lobster from Red Lobster.
He stole some fucking lobster.
Like he dug it in.
See, now, Cisco, I feel like you're putting out the wrong image here because you're laughing at this.
I mean, it
which
sounds
means that
funny.
If
I didn't see it though.
If Mr. Boonk were watching right now, he'd be
Mr.
like, I think
Boonk.
Cisco's behind me on this. I think Cisco wants me to do more of this.
Dude, I'm
Talking about
allergic to
Boonk Gang?
shellfish, so you know, I'm like, you know, I couldn't eat it anyway. But it sounds funny. I'm like, you know, picturing it. Did he roll his sleeve up?
You know, he asked how much it costs, and they're like, "Oh, like it's not these ones, it's other ones." And he's like, "Oh," and he just puts his hand in and grabs it, and he just runs out.
Yeah.
And it's
He's a bad influence.
it's a bad thing.
He's a bad
Nothing
influence on
good
Cool
about
Greg.
it,
Kids
except it
at
is
home,
funny.
don't do that.
But it's funny in the same way that like America's Funniest Home Videos of little kids running into the wall and falling down. That's not good. Nothing
Yeah, but
good about
everyone
that.
knows that kids are stupid inherently.
Absolutely.
Or adults falling
He's
down.
an adult human being. Yeah, I mean, it's...
The fact that you're laughing at someone in pain is a bad thing.
It's a bad
Wait,
thing,
wait.
but I try to think that maybe he just goes back and tells them it was a joke, or he has said it.
I like
ahead
to
of time.
imagine he does.
To be
I'd like to.
You can
fair,
imagine that all you want.
to be fair, I won't laugh at someone who fell unless I ask them if they're okay first.
Okay.
Sure.
Then you
Then
laugh.
If they say
okay?
no, if they say no,
I am not okay, Cisco.
You're not.
No, she's not a laughing.
Wait, are you Cisco? I am not okay.
You remember when last time I came here and those people almost crashed saying, "Hey, it's
Oh
Cisco."
yeah. We were walking across the street outside the office and we're like, "Oh hey, Cisco."
Nick, I gotta be in here though.
I got the Beetlejuice song stuck in my
I'm
head.
trying to figure this out.
Jump in the line, work your body on time. Okay, I believe you. Shake, shake, shake. Why that's there, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for why that's there.
There it is, right there. There's your answer.
The devil's juice.
Sources.
Oh man. Oh, dude. As soon as I leave here, it's on.
The song.
Oh yeah?
Oh, what?
Tear it down, tear it down SF.
Raging alcoholic.
Whoa!
I'm joking.
Gia and
But
I
I'm
are
a
doing
regular
Sober
alcoholic.
January.
Sober January.
What?
It was her
Good
idea.
for you, man.
What a surprise.
I know.
I didn't
know.
think that was something you were going to say.
I normally do it for Lent,
Oh, okay.
and then
Yeah, we're
like
just doing it for
directly
January.
after Lent,
Catch up.
blackout drunk.
The entire time.
Yeah.
You wake up, it's June, you're like, what?
Stroking the body, baby, I missed you. It's not that bad. It's that bad. But hey, that's one good thing, right? I only drink when I'm off work.
That's the way to do it. I only drink when I'm on.
Oh, good times, good times, good times.
But I
You won.
stream everything.
You solved it. You solved it. You
We're
solved
just
it,
getting audio again, guys.
dude. I want to
Cool.
try. I want to try Greg's chicken wings.
Hell
man.
yeah.
I know you're a wing connoisseur.
Those
Yeah,
are
that's
some
right,
good
yeah.
wings, man.
Yeah.
In the chat, Antonio says, someone please tell Cisco that me and my wife were just listening to How Deep Is Your Love to Me, and it's still the jam.
That's what's up. That was our first number one. Thanks, man. First number one across the board. That was the first time to Hong Kong too.
I might be going to Hong Kong.
Like,
this
dude,
year,
do you?
later this year.
Oh, I told you guys that already. That scene in
Rush Hour 2?
Rush Hour when Rush Hour 2
Oh,
when they're
yeah.
there with all of those girls.
Yeah.
That was a real thing. Really.
I remember
happened.
that story.
Yeah, my friend just went to Hong Kong and he was like, "Yeah, it's real." I'm like,
What are you going to do?
You were there.
Why are you going to Hong Kong?
So
Wedding?
the
Somebody
whole
else's wedding?
Yeah, the Bali wedding.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like,
Wow.
well, if we're going to Bali, then they're like, let's go. And there's a Disneyland there. So
Oh,
I'm like,
okay. Disneyland Hong
so
Kong?
if I play my cards right, I can convince them all that we're going to Tokyo and Hong Kong to
Ooh.
go to Disney Sea and Disney Shanghai.
Gotcha.
Well, make sure you go to the wall, man, because we did some shows in China and we did the wall. The wall is humongous. I see why they call it great.
It's a great wall.
It's a great wall.
Did you walk the entire thing?
Yeah,
probably not
we
is it?
walked the whole thing.
And back. Fuck it.
Nah, dude, do you know how big?
No, it's huge, right? Yeah, yeah.
Dude, it stretches like the how long? How
It's so long.
Pause.
Yeah.
No, you can't even see the end of it, and it's
You
like
see it from space? I know that. That's
yeah,
impressive.
and it's like it's not like when you think about it, you think
Really?
like it's this narrow thing, but it's
Huge.
Yeah, and it was like packed with people,
I think it's like one
Yeah.
of those super
and then it's like some Sherpas down the bottom, and it was cool.
That's awesome.
Sorry, guys. We're
all
so
good,
close
man.
there. Yeah, the
We're getting
Switcher
there.
looks like it is officially dead.
What does that mean for us?
I have to come in tomorrow morning and try to rebuild everything through OBS. Like,
Yeah.
set up.
You win the best hair award, man.
I mean, do you really have to? Like, I mean, we could easily say tomorrow to people, like, "Hey, Switcher's broken. We're doing something totally different this year or
Well,
today."
no, because how long is this gonna last?
Or we're just gonna buy a new Switcher. I figure.
Well, yeah, but like it's gonna take a week to get here.
Oh, okay.
You know
Oh,
what I mean?
Good point.
no Amazon overnight. Oh yeah, it's too late.
Not
for
with.
it.
Well, I mean,
It's
even
like
with
pro
this,
shit.
They're so unique. You know? But on the plus side, is
They
there a
must be
better
under
one?
warranty. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah. How long have we had the Switcher?
we probably bought it last September.
Really?
Because it was for the studio.
Well, yeah, I guess. Oh, so no, not last September then. September before that.
Wait, can I get the signal going
Yeah.
to the camera there first?
So year and a half.
Man, I don't like the way that they set up the new podcast thing, the audio one. It's hard to find.
Oh, on Apple? On the
Yeah.
iPhone? Yeah,
It's hard to
that
find
sucks,
episodes,
man.
man. You're like, what the fuck? Like, wait,
But I want to go.
where's my episode? Where's the new
Yeah,
episode?
there's an app called Pocket Casts that is my
Better?
favorite.
Yeah, I think that's
of
the.
them.
Let me show you the word. Oh no, it was.
Yeah, that one sucks. Apple fucked it up.
Wait, no, Nick, this one.
Like, why are you changing stuff? I mean,
Got it, man. Got
Now-
to switch shit up.
Garrett Nolan says blame the earthquake for this, and I agree. It jostled something loose
I'm
in there.
blaming
There was
the
an
earthquake.
earthquake?
Yeah,
The
last
earthquake
night.
last night, yeah.
If there's something
It's one of those things where
I
it wasn't too
apologize.
bad.
Okay, my
You
bad.
come in here.
SisQo coming here, throwing
The
everything
dragon
off.
was coming. Boom. I tried to look out for that building. My bad.
Like looking at the numbers, it wasn't bad, but it was the first earthquake since I was maybe like 12 years old, where I was like, "Oh shit,
I can't believe
like
we're rolling.
Something's happening.
something's happening." But it
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be
yeah.
just my house is like,
Oh man, when y'all
Louder.
was talking about that, those playgrounds, that was, dude, I was
the death
crying
playgrounds.
laughing. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I was crying laughing.
Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like, wow.
Guys, pre-show over.
Really?
Warmed up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm ready to cast, man.
It looks like this is
We're not
frozen
doing a
though.
fucking casting, are we?
drinks on Greg.
What looks
Chip!
frozen?
Kegerator!
All right, that looks
Oh,
nice.
that was frozen. Give it 15 seconds to like.
It's
pop
good.
back
It's
in.
back.
It's back now.
It's
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Great.
Shout out to Jamal.
All right, guys. Sorry
being
about-
patient.
Thank you, Jamal. Sorry.
Cuzzo, appreciate
Sorry
you,
about
bro.
that.
No problem. You want to shut
hang
this?
Tech happens.
It won't help you now.
When's my topic?
For whatever.
Oh no, I know. I mean, go over to a tab. I know how you get. I don't want you to get lost
like
in
to
the
look at
chat. I
myself.
know.
Oh,
I know
let's
you
look
like to
at
look at
SisQo?
yourself, and I don't.
Oh, let's
Well,
look
who
at
doesn't
Sid.
like to look at
So-
Cisco?
So you know, there's like 3 tiers to my jam.
To your topic?
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Okay.
I'll put them all together so they could just, you know.
Okay.
I like it.
This.
I like it.
Greg, let me get a quick clap before we do anything else. Excellent. We're recording audio on the board too.
And they're getting audio out to the feed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's synced 100%, but
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's a single shot.
If
They
it's
understand.
Not sync, people, we're sorry.
You have to.
We're
You
doing
have
the
to
best
shut
we
your
can on
eyes
the
today.
fly.
I don't think there's many visual components other than our sexy faces, so you're fine. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Kevin?
Always.
yeah, man.
Kevin, we're good?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
I never broke eye contact with the camera when I caressed you.
I didn't need you to.
First time in 2018, you know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
need sight to know that you love me. You know what I mean?
I do.
I felt it in your touch, in your
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
and in the heat of your breath as it was coming out of your mouth.
Last night,
guys.
I want you to know that I was in bed and I started thinking about you in the MCU interview when you and I started laughing. And General Lurk's like, "What are you laughing at?" I tried to explain it. Over there, the pure one at Tim Gettys.
Let him host.
And joining us once again, friend, no, family, the dragon, SisQo.
Yes.
Welcome home, SisQo.
Welcome home.
Finally, the dragon has come back to Kind of Funny.
What brings you to San Francisco?
I got a show tomorrow.
That's
at,
awesome.
10:15.
10:15.
SF, is it called?
Folsom.
Yep, that's what it is.
Congratulations on the Christmas album.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
That was awesome.
Drew
Been
Hill.
getting a lot of, Drew Hill. Make sure you download that Drew Hill app, free app. Tells you everywhere we're going to be. We're somewhere different every week. People really like the album.
Yeah.
They like the video. They like my baby beard.
Yeah, I got a baby
You guys are
beard
both
too.
bringing the
Team
beard.
baby
Team baby beard.
Now,
You got a man
Now,
beard.
Greg, you seem to be good. Greg, I need to give you some advice. 'cause
Give
you're
me some
you're
advice
to
on the
this-
beard.
This whole
Give me-
beard world.
Yeah.
Wait. This is like a month and a half.
It's nice though.
Yeah,
It looks
like-
good.
It looks good.
I know. I drew some of this. Like most of this. Is kind of,
Using eyeliner, Sharpies out there, like filling it in.
The thing that you need to learn.
Shut
Let's
up.
go- So first off, you're now in the world of eating and getting food stuck in it. Have you had to deal with that yet?
God, no.
It's not done yet.
No, I ain't got any food
You're
in there.
close.
I got
dude.
something
You're getting-
stuck in
you're
it.
I do
getting
the thing right
close.
now where if I move my tongue to the sides, I touch them, and that's weird.
Got it. See,
Yeah.
That's the beginning.
Okay.
Eventually, when you eat your yogurt, it's gonna be all up in there.
Soup
You're
catcher.
gonna have to start checking yourself.
Soup strainer.
But the thing that I need to tell you is you
strainer.
need to start using aftershave down
Oh, yeah?
here. Down here when you clean it up.
Yeah.
Because then, or else you're going to get the red rashes. You know what you can do?
What's that?
DollarShaveClub.com.
Ah, Jesus
Yeah.
God.
Seriously, though. Their stuff's super good, and it gets rid of it. Because I've noticed you've been having the
But we're not sponsored by them. But
No, we're not. But
okay,
I
so
use it all the
I'm
time.
being very clear for the audience.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want them to come at you,
fan of
come at SisQo.
But let's be clear: if you pleasure your woman, it's going to be there.
Wow.
I imagined that to be correct.
That is nature's moisturizer.
The next
moisturizer.
day.
Nature's
You're
I
gonna
rub that
remember
around my
nature's
neck.
Yeah, well, you rub that around your neck. You just kind of get it like a scarf.
Welcome to 2018, everybody.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, this is
No
the
fear.
Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing you a random topic and a conversation for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode early. How early, SisQo?
Super early.
You can be watching it right now via a private link for just $1.
I don't know why you put people on the spot like that.
What? No, he listens to the show. He knows how to roll with the
fair.
punches.
That's
Calm
fair.
down.
Yeah, but the thing is, when people listen to the
I get
show, they
terrified.
know how they consume.
You
I'm
know
in
what
the
happens?
show.
You know what happens? Your
And I can't keep up with
velvety
it.
voice
Yeah.
puts you in somewhat of a trance.
Yeah.
It really
I
does.
kind of was daydreaming a little bit just now, but snap
we're
right
all
back in. I'm
thinking
back.
about,
You're just ready for the, you know?
which we nailed, by the way.
I want put this into the idea bin. All right.
Okay.
I want to do a video where my velvety voice, I sit there and I just talk, and then Andy comes up like one of those snakes that dances. That's a video. That's a video right
Can
there.
I also throw this into the video I do on typing while I'm here?
Yeah.
Can we do a video where you and I do a podcast, but it's just extreme close-ups on our beard mounts?
Done. That's another one.
Okay.
We got a new show, right, guys?
That's actually a good video.
When I was making the intro for the MCU and review show where I redid the Marvel Studios intro with the red and all the flashing stuff, I had to use a bunch
Well
of
done,
pictures
by
of
the way.
us. Thank you. I really like it. And I had to use a lot of the headshots that we have, and the pictures are huge. They're like 5,000 by 5,000
Yeah.
resolution. So when I pull it in, it's super zoomed in, and every single time a picture of Nick comes up, it's just his mouth, and it's just nasty. Like it looks like a lot of things.
For the
that,
longest time, I wanted to do just like I wanted as part of Nick at Night. If I want to play music and just have it be this part of me as I sing along to it.
That's awesome. That's a
All
great
I wanted
idea.
to do.
That's
I wanted
another.
to- but
We have a lot
only
of show
Taylor
ideas.
Swift songs and Katy Perry songs.
Sure.
And
After
a little
you
Gaga.
pleasure your lady.
After I pleasure my lady.
If you don't want to give us $1, you could give us 5 or 10 and get the episode as audio or video early on Friday. That's when it comes out. Patreon.com/kindoffunnyfriday. If you don't want to give us any money, though, no big deal. You can wait till the next week when we just posted as one big video the following Friday on youtube.com/kindoffunny. Yes, if you missed Kind of Funny Day 2018 and all of our new announcements for shows, ideas, and stuff, you might have missed the fact that we are redesigning the Game Over Greggy show. No more topic by topic shows. Still, we bring topics to the table. That part's still here. I never did the. Did I do this
You
table?
did. We nailed it.
You nailed
was
it.
I
probably
put
the
myself in a
best one
trance.
we've ever
I
done.
put myself in a trance. No more topic, just one big show. We feel it facilitates the conversation better. We no longer have to be like, well, we got to cut somebody off, or are we going too long, or this, that, or the other, or the episode is with SisQo, part 1, part 2, part 3. We can give you better headlines, better titles, and we can talk about the things we really care about. Of course,
With time codes.
We have time codes now as well in the description. You'll be down there. Remember, also, we do a pre and a post show for the show we record when we're live streaming it like we are right now. And let me tell you, this one was a complete disaster as the switcher died. It's
It
a
was like, what,
30-minute
That's
pre-show.
what happened. That is what happened.
30-minute pre-show of us trying to figure out why the video kept cutting out. But it's good content. You used to only be able to consume that live if you were watching while we recorded. We've now added that to the video tier on the early episodes Friday. So more show for your buck. We're trying to make Patreon totally worth your money. It's one of the reasons we're doing so many cool things like my comic book show. But I digress. That's up on theirs.
I'm glad you explained that because I was a little confused.
Did
But
it make sense now?
But now I get it.
Okay, good. Okay, good. SisQo, thank you for being a fan.
Hey man, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
You text me all the time. You legitimately listen to the show and then text me like things that happened on it from that week's show. And I'm like, that's a guy right there. I
That's
like
good.
him.
It's good,
Yeah.
man. It's good to know that people are out there listening to the content and when stuff is funny. I feel like because funny is not easy, and when you do it right, it can bring some joy to your day. I travel a lot, and so when I'm there, spend a lot of time alone. That's my cousin with me. Shout out to Jamal.
Hey, Jamal.
What, Jamal?
Yeah, man, I feel like I'm right there with you guys. I put it on when I'm taking a shower or shit, trimming up the old baby beard.
Yeah.
I like
Now,
that.
did you buy a special razor for the baby beard? I feel like I have to buy a special razor.
I feel like I need a smaller razor now.
What? No, Dollar Shave Club. We
Now
know.
here's I'm gonna
You gotta
put
tell
this
you
out
beard
for both of you
aficionados.
guys. I'm gonna put out both of you guys. I have a beard guy. Okay, when I get my hair cut, I get my beard trim as well. Sometimes I take a little off myself if it's getting a little too, weirdly growing out. But the last time I got this look, the guy was like, "Hey man, I just want you to know."
Nice, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate that. He was like, "Hey, I just want you to know." Like, he made me wait an extra 30 minutes, which I was like, "I'm fine with it. Doesn't matter." But he's like, "You're an awesome customer, and as a Christmas present, I'm gonna give you a straight razor shave and also like a thank you for like waiting around." And so he trimmed the beard up. And then he got out the straight razor, lathered up the top, and just went down, and I was like, "Ugh, this is the best thing ever." I thought I was gonna freak out because I was like, "I don't like things
with the warm blade."
Oh god, it was amazing. So I'm just saying, if you got a guy that'll do that for you, it can be a very relaxing and positive experience. It's fun because there's so few things that
right guy's not Kevin. I'll tell you.
No,
that.
Kevin wants to.
Kevin has a straight razor, and
Kevin no longer has a straight razor. You can fill in the blanks.
I still have a straight razor.
Do you use it still?
It won't sharpen it. I don't know. I've got it professionally.
You got to get a leather strap. I see them do that all the time.
have a leather stroke.
What are the chances?
He has a leather stroke.
That Paula
So do I, Kev.
took out the straight razor,
So
put it in
do I.
plastic straight razor instead, and Kevin just hasn't noticed that it's not real steel.
See, I don't fuck with the beard guy. Did the beard guy once? I don't. Maybe it's just I don't have a thick enough beard to.
Well, you got to work
have
with
that
the
be
guy.
Worth it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I did just go
You don't.
one
You
time.
usually keep your beard that short, which is probably one length.
But the thing is, for you, Greg,
he's got to fill me out.
Just get one of those electric razors, and then you just need to find the number you like, and then it's once every 2 to 3 weeks, do a little cleanup.
Now wait, how big?
See,
do you
all
wanna
I'm
get,
talking about is this. I don't like the hairs encroaching up here. I'm not even worried about the girth of the actual beard.
Then no joke, dollarshaveclub.com.
Okay.
Like that's just get a normal razor.
Okay.
And then you just clean up here. There,
No, you mean.
there.
I apologize. I just stuck my finger down your throat. Like, I got my fucking hand. You mean these right here, right?
Well, yeah,
the
but like the sides here, where I got the little ones creeping up the sides, and then when they creep down the neck.
So you don't care about the mouth?
Well, I will eventually, but I'm like, guys, I'm talking about the problems I have and know now.
I have 4 different
razors?
Razor.
Of course you do, Tim.
Things.
Let me tell you, is one of them 4K?
Let me.
Is one of them like
they all
OLED
have
4K?
Wi-Fi. So here's the thing. There's just the Dollar Shave Club razor, the normal razor, right? But that is first you go in with the electric razor to trim everything, get all the.
I set it to like your hair. You set it to
the exact same thing. Get the girth to the right place. Do that. Then you go in and clean up to make the line clean, the top and bottom line with the Dollar Shave Club razor. The other two, those are the more. For your time about specific things, I have one that's like it's kind of like a pencil that you just go into like just get the shit off your lip.
Okay.
And like if there's annoying nose hairs, like when you start feeling you don't like it, or like these things, you can get rid of them with that, and it's like more of a fine tuning thing.
Okay.
And then the last one is this weird shit you just stick up your nose and gets rid of the nose hairs.
I have a nose hair trimmer, please.
Then you're
Now,
good.
see, but SisQo's is a lot more defined, right? Like you get a definitive line.
Well, see, I cut my own hair, so
Yeah.
I did that, right? But this is like 2 months, dude. So
It's good though.
If I cut just a little bit off, it's a wrap. I got to wait another 2 months to get that.
It's better that than me. If I let this go for 2 months, it will take over my head, and we'll have to fight to get it back. We'll have to bring some
Weed
sort of
whackers.
military organization back in.
We're doing the thing where you light that flamethrower, just kicks all the stuff out.
You guys have seen when I would let it go. Like it just
gets. Oh yeah.
It just looks like
it gets full.
A big like microphone poofy thing on my face.
Yeah.
Mine gets curly too quick. I like it when it's a bit
What?
more.
You got the curly vid?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's my thing is I believe that if I were to just let it go out and I got a beard guy, mine'd end up looking like that.
You could,
but that requires years
but
of
they
perseverance.
get it thicker. What he does is he trims it down on the sides and leaves just a little bit of length here.
Oh, that's nice.
So it kind of gets a little bit of a point to it, which serves 2 purposes.
Yeah.
One, I think it looks sculpted, and 2, makes my face look skinnier.
Yeah, but look at my cousin, man. We got like naked face. Like we don't.
But you guys are
naked.
That's good though. I'm telling you, you have a beard. You
coming
walked
in.
in, I was
It's
like,
coming
oh.
in. It's coming
I
in.
looked at you, I was like, Cisco has a beard.
Oh,
You're a
okay.
beard. It's not like
If
you're
you made an
ladies-
avatar in a video game, it would need a beard.
Yeah.
Awesome. The
So you
ladies
did it.
seem to like it, so I guess we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
And this is going to be
That's it.
good, brother. When you get
I am not prepared for your hand to always be there when I turn left. Oh no, not the snake, not the python. You know I hate the python.
He totally just touched his balls too.
I did.
No, I'm just joking.
I peed like a coffee.
People have been hitting me
peed
up
and I
since
got
your
coffee.
last Game Over Greggy show about when I handed you the phone. I'm like, that's been in the toilet. And you're like, why'd you hand me this phone?
That was a horrible story.
That was a great
That wasn't
story.
even
That was a
part
great
of the
fun
story.
story. It was the start of the story, wasn't it? I don't even remember.
No, but why was it
I don't know. I don't know.
You said, hold this. It's going to matter. And then it never mattered that he was holding
It never
the phone.
mattered except for that it was in the toilet.
You
Well,
could've just
that's
gone-
why it mattered, because it was in the toilet. I was building up to something. I
Damn
dropped the phone in the
toilet humor.
urinal. There you go. Toilet humor. Yeah, I see what you did.
It's only time.
SisQo, what's new in your life?
Every day somewhere different. I mean, every week somewhere different.
Yeah?
We're going down to do that show tomorrow here.
Yeah.
SF.
10, 15 full.
Then I go home for a couple of days.
Are there
and
tickets still available for that, or are you guys sold out?
Tickets, if you want to come, just say.
Oh, I mean,
hey,
for the
we're
people
coming.
that are watching.
well, I mean,
If
hey,
you're live right now or watching
might
this
be a
on
couple.
Patreon in the morning.
it might be a couple.
Go out
Okay.
to SisQo. Let's pimp it
You
out.
know, because
Absolutely.
I perform with Drew Hill a lot, and then sometimes I do SisQo shows. And
So
then
what is tomorrow then? Are you-
tomorrow's a straight up SisQo show.
Love it.
And I added some new bells and whistles for the new year.
Love it.
And then next week we perform on a '90s cruise.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome.
Is that
Yeah.
you and Drew Hill, or is that you?
No, that's just me.
Okay, cool.
With who we on there with, yo? Everybody from back in the day.
Salt and pepper? What?
Salt and Pepper.
Coolio?
Kid and Play Cooking with Coolio is supposed to
Wait,
be
hold
a
on.
thing.
That sounds like gimmick infringement.
No, it's on the boat though. I don't think he does it off the boat.
Okay, he's in international waters. I can't come at him. I got you. Yeah, okay. He's out there with his trademark
I
infringement.
like to believe that somewhere Coolio is like, guys, I can't do my set yet. The souffle's not ready. Like, that'd be
And
amazing.
then I think Ice. I think Ice is on there.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that Ice?
No
Ain't he
shit.
on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he on it. Yeah,
oh my god,
he's cool people. You got
See,
to
I love that
party.
you say
You got to
ice,
party
and
with
I'm like,
Ice.
I wanna
Ice Cube,
party with
Ice
Vanilla
Tea.
Ice.
Yeah, yeah,
Vanilla
yeah,
Ice.
yeah.
Like,
I
there's a
didn't-
lot of ices going on in the 90s.
all
I
of
don't-
them acceptable, by the way. I would party with any one of those people.
Me
you just
too.
named.
Me too. I don't think I'm. No, I met Ice Cube. From the West Coast, I only met Snoop Dogg. Love Snoop Dogg. Shout out Snoop Dogg.
That's awesome. That cruise is going to be rad. We should
That's
have
gonna
gone.
be fun.
Yeah.
Where's
I
that
should have told y'all.
Where's that embarking out of? Is that coming out of here, or is that a
I
different?
don't know.
Okay.
I pretty much just.
Oh, it's Miami. Okay, so it's totally
okay.
East Coast. I was gonna say, because if it's anywhere in California, we're gonna try to get on this cruise. We're gonna try to like
dude.
splinter cell onto this cruise. You know, climb up the anchor. Do they
Hey
do that in
man,
Splinter Cell?
that's what
Am
I keep
making that
telling
up?
you guys to get the Drew Hill app. Type in DRU Hill. Go to the App Store or a Google Play. I think.
The thing for me is I don't want to impose.
You're
I
not
don't want to be like,
imposing.
hey, I
You
want
guys
to
are-
come to like
Greg,
my
you
wife and I
said we're
talk about
family,
you all the
man.
time. I know,
Family.
but my wife and I talk about you all the time. She's like, when are you gonna hit SisQo up so we can go see a show? And I'm like, I don't. Because it's weird. You're a busy guy. I don't want you to have to
Dude.
like tell someone, and then it has to like someone has
It's
to take
so
care
easy.
of me.
Jamal, just put your names on the
Jamal's
list.
way
and
cooler
bam.
than me, though. I don't want to pot him either.
Nick's
I feel the
intimidated to
same
talk
way.
to Jamal.
I feel the same way,
You know, he's
man.
well
Like
put
when
together.
you know somebody that like that does something in a specific industry. Like I was telling you about my cousin off camera. He don't like me to tell anybody where he works. So he works in the big black building or the big white building.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's like you don't want to feel like you're infringing on
Yeah,
anybody.
I'm the
People-
exact
people are
opposite.
busy.
But I still
Hey,
totally,
Xavier Woods, can you get me into this show you're not even a part of? I guess.
Exactly. Shout out to Xavier.
Hell yeah.
He's about to win the belt or something, right?
Hell yeah.
Dude, they're building up to it, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Doesn't he already?
huge
Doesn't he
for
have the
them.
kind of funny belt? No, you.
I
He's
got
the
the belt right
commissioner.
now.
He's the
He's the
commissioner.
The commission. He beat me for that.
Hey, man, you know.
Oh,
He did, unfortunately. That was sad. We apologize
Yeah.
about
it's
that.
kind
I
of
was
his
rooting
thing,
for you.
though. You know, it makes
Maybe a KF prom, you can wrestle him for it.
I hope I can wrestle him. I think
we
not.
don't try to book him to come sing at our shows. So you're our number one call
As
for
a
that.
singer, he's a great wrestler.
He is a great wrestler. Hell of a body for a singer.
Yep, but that's pretty much it, man. Every week we're somewhere different. Good old Mischief and Mayhem. The kids are doing pretty good.
How many
Good.
weeks are you on the road out of the year, like roughly?
Dude, every week we're somewhere different. We do
that's gotta
like
get-
2, 3, 4 shows a week.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty awesome.
It's good to have hits. Good to have.
No, I mean it's like obviously like so I've been doing a lot of stand up comedy and like one of the goals eventually is to be able to go to like to be a big enough name or a big enough draw to get booked and go and see the rest of the country.
Yeah.
And like that's what I would say going on the road. Obviously, like
Yeah.
it's a fun, maybe probably over romanticized thing
and then,
for me.
Then Netflix and then
Then you go.
HBO.
Then you
No,
go.
the sitcom. The Nick
Oh my
Scarpino
God, I want the-
sitcom.
everybody loves Nick.
It's
That'd be
just people
amazing.
talking and then they
Rolls
turn
off
and
the
fingers
tongue.
in the mouth. Fingers in the mouth with Nick Scarpino. That should be your
Good
next
Lord.
one.
Great.
Mouth
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cisco,
Yeah.
what's your topic?
My topic is what is cool? Like we know Cool Greg is cool.
Cool
Right.
Greg's
Cool Greg
undeniably
is cool.
cool.
Of
But,
course.
I mean,
I'll
like-
also throw another name into that bed. Jamal is cool.
Jamal's
super
absolutely
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
I was like, that guy's cool. He's a cool.
So hey man, I wanted to know, and here's the reason why I'm asking this, because I listened to the show.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go to see a movie. I come back because you always see it before anybody else gets to see it. So I wait. I watch the first half, and then when you say spoilers, I normally cut it off. And I'm thinking, okay, I go see the movie, and then I come back. I'm like, oh, dude, I know they're gonna love this movie. So I watch the movie, and I play. I press play on you guys' show, and you hate the movie that I liked, and I'm like,
not all the time.
So
just
what
if it's a
exactly?
Star Wars movie.
Like literally almost every time.
Really?
Okay, you didn't like Justice League, and yeah, because you didn't like Cyborg, and I kind of like Cyborg.
I like Cyborg.
I thought Cyborg did well because I read the comics. But at the
real
end
fans like the DC movies.
You
You
know
know what I mean?
mean?
Marvel
Yeah.
fanboy.
I feel it, dude. I feel it, man. Got our own show now.
And then wait. So then we go over to Marvel, and you didn't like Ragnarok, right?
No, we
I
loved
love
Ragnarok.
Oh, you did?
There was
love
things about it I didn't love.
Oh, okay.
I loved Ragnarok, though.
Okay, well, because I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. My thing is, the comedy in Ragnarok, fantastic. The action, fantastic. The storyline, the villain, I didn't like that. But otherwise, the rest of it,
Which is strange
super
because
great.
you used to say hella all the time. So you
It's
figure
true.
they named a character after
Still
that
do say
parlance.
hella all the time.
You should love that character. It's a living embodiment of Northern California.
Yeah. Didn't really like her.
But you know what the catcher was? I think it was Mario Galaxy. I mean, not Mario Odyssey. And I'm playing Mario Odyssey, and I'm loving it. And Tim's like, "Nyeh."
What?
Fuck you, exactly. Fuck you. I'm with you again, Cisco.
Didn't say that. For a
you-
preview. For a preview, I said that.
Now, to be fair, I said, man, I played
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 hours of it, and I was like,
It's difficult to
I'm
go
not-
back to.
not
But
into
once
this.
you're there, I was kind of in it.
No, to
Dude,
be fair,
I love Mario.
it's a good game, but like coming off of Zelda, right? I mean, we're spoiled.
Oh,
We get two first party like AAA titles from Nintendo in 1 year, but coming off of Zelda, I was like, this is phenomenal. And then I played Mario, I was like, more of the same. That's how I felt. I was like, it's cool. It's
remember I told
top
you
of the list.
Zelda have ruined games for me, and then Mario did the same thing, man. Because I tried to play Sonic
Mania?
Forces.
Sonic Forces.
Oh, yeah, don't try to play Sonic Forces.
Oh, no.
I couldn't. Not after
so
you play.
bad, dude.
Not after you play Mario. I mean, because the controls are so tight. And
Oh, it's
which, by the way, we need more Switch content. I'm like a Switch
You're about to get it,
fanboy
apparently.
now.
Dude, and supposedly January 11th, so like 7 days from now, we're about to get a whole bunch of announcements for the first half of 2018.
Oh,
What
yeah,
if we did?
I
What if
heard.
we did a
Need
show
direct.
called Switching with Tim, where you just convince everyone to switch over to the Switch from all their
Dude.
other consoles
I don't
because
need
you
to
love it
convince
so much.
anybody. They're all fucking doing it. You
Yeah,
see
they said it was
see
the
news today?
highest selling-
Let's open it up though. That you just try to convert
time.
everyone to whatever you want. Where you're like, you need to switch from coffee to tea, and I'll explain to you why.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Switching with Tim.
And then flip flopping with Nick.
There you go. Did I like Justice League? You'll never know.
Depends what day it is and who I'm talking
Actually, to be fair, I went on record as saying I enjoyed Justice League. I liked
I
the
did too.
movie,
I went
and
on
I
record
actually
for that.
enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the Last Jedi. I liked watching that movie more than Last Jedi.
Because
No,
he,
that's
because
the
he's
other
a
thing.
sane human being. He's
Kevin
a
doesn't
sane
like
human being.
The Last
I mean, I'm not
Jedi.
even going to get into this conversation.
You
That
guys
is
didn't like The Last
ridiculous.
Jedi, right?
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
did not. I
no,
was not a
because you
huge fan.
guys
I
were
did
like,
not.
I hated it. And I actually saw it for a second time yesterday. I liked it better the second time.
I liked
people
it
say
a
that.
lot
A lot of
better the
people
second
drinking
time.
this Kool-Aid trying to convince themselves it was better. As a
yeah.
DC fan, I'm right there. I totally know what you guys are talking about. Yeah. Shit gets better with age. 5 viewings. Why
It
not?
doesn't, man. I watched Batman.
I don't
but
know,
I
I
can't
mean-
remember. I remember the first time I watched Batman versus Superman at home after I'd seen it. I'd only seen it once in the theater. And I remember I texted you. I was like, should I watch the extended version? You're like, no, don't do that.
I was like, well, you're like with my wife. That was the
Yeah,
kicker. I'm
with
like,
my
you're
wife.
never
It's like,
going to get
don't do
D
it.
to sit for
And
3
then,
hours to watch all.
But like the deal maker part of my brain's like, dude, it's the same price. I got to get the extra
Sure.
content. Oh boy, that was
Yeah,
a
when
bad
you
idea.
hated it, I was texting Greg like, I liked it.
yeah, damn
But
right.
you're not. But
You're
again,
not alone, people who liked Batman v
There are
Superman.
Lots.
You can't
I
watch
think
it
he's talking
again,
about
though.
The
But
Last Jedi. There are lots of people. There are a lot of people that like The Last Jedi, and there are a lot of people that are saying like, look, you should give it a little time and then go see it again because you might see it with fresh eyes, and it might like. But now that I have resigned to the fact that they're going in just a different
spoilers.
direction.
You got to say spoilers. I say spoilers.
No, everyone that's
If we're
watching
talking
the show
about the
has
movie, you got to
definitely
say
seen-
spoilers.
I feel at this point you've watched Last Jedi, no?
Because he
It's
was
been 2 weeks.
because Luke was
They made $1
job.
billion.
He was kind of
Everyone saw
acting
it.
like Yoda for a second. You know what I mean? Like when he was like drinking that weird milk.
Why you did that look?
Dude, I can't get that. I cannot get that out of my head. I
Straight
can't
out,
get that.
straight out the nip, straight out the nip, and drank it.
You know what?
While
There
making
was
eye
one
contact.
straight out-
Anything that's ever happened, any piece of media that stresses me out as much as conversations about The Last Jedi. Like it fucking it bothers me, man. Talking to whether someone likes it or hates it, I shut down. I'm like, I can't talk. about
Welcome
this.
to my life since Man of Steel.
it's just-
Fuck you,
it's
suck it up,
horrible.
and talk about it.
But
Because
that's
that's
what-
all they're going to talk to you about for the rest of your life now.
But that's why I said what's cool because I know it's unanimous that everybody hates the prequels,
No, but that's the thing.
I kind of liked it.
There you go.
Like
I was
like
here-
now it's kind of good. Like if you know from the Last Jedi, if you know the prequels are kind of good now.
Here's where it opened up for me, right? Is I obviously the question of what's cool is very subjective, right? It's different for you and you.
It's not,
right?
and this is a question of not
This
what's
isn't even
good.
about what's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause
That's
the
why I
thing
like
is,
this
cool,
topic.
All of the things in 2017, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, those are all cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
That is what cool pop culture is.
Now, but there are subcategories of that, right? Like I would say Thor Ragnarok's cool on a whole different level.
It was.
because they took it to a different place,
Dude, it was
and they got
funny.
the Goldberg or the Goldblum, not the Goldberg.
Goldblum.
They got
I
this
love
Goldberg.
Goldblum.
Fucking just take somebody out. He's got the security.
Where's my neck?
But that's the thing. Like going back to Star Wars, obviously, I still think Star Wars is cool. I always have, but I think it's more mainstream than ever now. With The Last Jedi, it is interesting because I've talked to so many people who I really respect, and they're like, I really liked it, and here's why. And their argument is a decent enough argument. But I've talked to a few people, and the things that I've come to the conclusion of is a lot of people like it because it has more of the prequel feel to it, where it's a little bit more experimental, a little bit like kind of out there. And a couple of the people I've talked to, literally, I'm like, what is your favorite Star Wars movie? And they're like, oh, I liked the prequels. I liked Phantom Menace. And I'm like, oh.
Wow. Who are you talking? You're making people up right now.
Who? Yusuf McGueen. I was working out with him. He goes, that's the problem.
Fuck out.
My favorite of all the Star Wars movies is Phantom Menace. And I'm like, oh, they're making them for you. They're making, because he's younger when he watched it.
That's not what they're doing.
Kids who were raised on it.
Valid opinion.
Had the best
I just
lightsaber
fucking
duels.
said that. I'm standing by it.
But what was bad about Last Jedi is the question.
I'm not getting into that.
Straight
up, I'm not getting
touching
into that.
with a 10-foot.
There's a lot.
I just wanted to be known. There's been a straight line coming out of me with my opinion of The Last Jedi ever since it came out. I have not at one point changed my opinion.
A great
I have
point.
not at
Today,
one point changed my
weeks later,
opinion.
Nick did scream during the morning show, they ruined my childhood.
They
And that's
did.
been his line
Okay.
since we were in the car.
See, that's what it is.
Tim got in the car and was like, and I'm paraphrasing here, I could not have hated that movie more. And now he's flip-flopping.
I think it's
I'm just
because
letting you know.
Watch the
Who's the
Star Wars
flip-flopper?
reaction and see if I'm flip-flopping at all. I was the one most positive at the table about the movie, and I'm still in that same place.
Who are you?
I
On
think
the
it's,
second viewing, I liked it slightly more.
I think it's because of nostalgia.
I'm just fucking with you, Tim.
But
Nick
see, I
went
think-
into the tree Tim went into the tree and saw you. I can't get out.
But here's the
You're a
thing.
flip-flopper like me, Tim.
Here's the thing. Sometimes I think nostalgia ruins stuff
It does.
because
It can.
like art is very difficult. Like art, for instance, for me as an artist, right? When my biggest album came out, it was a part of people's childhood, so I'm a part of the nostalgia. So that, some people have never heard anything new from me because they only want me to be thong song.
Right.
And so when you go into, the movie Last Jedi and you without a preconceived notion of what it's supposed to be and just accept it for what it is, it might be cool.
No, see, what you're talking about is something I've talked about a lot with the DC movies, and we're not even joking. I'm not even doing the dumb thing, right? But it's expectation, where I feel like so many people at Man of Steel, and myself included, like I left Man of Steel, I was like, oh, it was fine, whatever. And then when I watched it again with no expectations, like, oh, this is a sci-fi movie, they're going in a different direction, yada, yada, yada. So many people were like, that's not my Superman, so
From the
I'm done
Donner
with this
films.
whole fucking thing. And then every time they come back and they're still doing their thing, whether you like it or hate it, doesn't matter. You're not happy with that, right? And I feel like that's the same way of like when I talk about comics, where it's like I never dug New 52 Superman, right? So I didn't read those comic books that much.
I like the way he draw. I mean, Lee.
Oh, the art was great, but like I didn't like the character they were doing.
Yeah, he was super duper strong.
Yeah,
with me, I mean,
solar flares, come on.
That's the thing for me. I think, all kidding aside, my expectation was something, and I'm realizing that they are not catering to that expectation anymore, right? They are going in a different direction for whatever reason, and it doesn't vibe with me quite yet. I am open to the fact that I watch it 6 months from now on my couch when it comes out, and I'm like, when I can pause and pee 15 times, don't have to worry about it. I can watch it. Maybe I'll like it again. I was talking about, there's two movies in my past that I remember doing that with, one of which I can't remember now, but the other one was The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, which I left that movie and I was like, I hated that movie. And then I saw Brian Altano and Marty and all these people were like, this is an awesome movie. And it broke my heart because I'm a huge Shane Black fan. And then 6 months later, I watched it again. I'm like, oh, I'll pop it on again and try it. Loved it. So I don't know. Maybe there was a lot of expectation, a lot of hype built up into it, and I came in a little too hot.
Yeah, because
Right.
like the
And I gotta
lightsaber
cool
duels,
off a
right?
little bit.
The lightsaber duels were not as elegant as the Phantom. Any of the prequels. However,
so wrong. So wrong.
No, because man, first of all, when Anakin and Obi-Wan got it in,
Okay,
That
that's
was
episode 3.
ill. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
And then what about
you use the word elegant?
Darth Maul? Darth
A lot
Maul
of flips.
that was
Cool. He was
ill.
cool. He was
Dude,
cool.
but that duel was dope.
It was, and I can't.
It was
All right,
cool.
this is a different topic because at some point we should rank all the lightsaber battles and all the.
Put it on your list. Put it on your list.
Wait, but this lightsaber duel and
Yeah.
this one, it wasn't really
See,
that good. But
That's
that's
no
where I would
lightsaber
disagree.
duel. That's the problem. No lightsabers clashed.
That's true. But see, here's the thing. Given their skill set, that was the way that they fight. Even when they fought in the first one, the lightsaber duel was kind of. They looked like they were just kind of swinging it around, swinging the lightsaber around.
That's episode 1. That's all the prequels.
No,
Even
no,
though
no,
people
no,
want
not
You're
the
talking about
prequels.
4?
I was talking about
Vaderverse.
Force Awakens.
Oh.
When
See,
they were
here's
fighting,
the-
dude, that was like a kind of.
But wasn't that because they were both untrained, right? We're talking about
Right, because they were
Raver.
untrained.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. So that was the way I was looking at it. Like they were untrained. Then you got Luke. He was he was just jaded, and it's like
Yeah.
looking at him from like Brian Altano said the other day. This is a kid that whose dad tried to kill him. He lost his only father figures. Then the one father figure he had, he got killed. You know what I mean? Then he tried to raise his sister's kid, and then
Royally fucked that up.
Right. It was
Yeah.
like, so it's like if you try to get into the headspace of where Luke is, instead of saying he's this master super Jedi, who we all wanted them to be. I wanted to see, don't get me wrong, I wanted to see Luke, show us why he's, the baddest Jedi in the universe. But I understood why they couldn't do that for the universe and for the franchise.
Yeah.
So that was why I was like, what's cool.
Well, that's what's interesting, about the question of, you brought it up as art, which is true, right? In the fact that it's crazy that whether it's a video game, it's a movie, it's a song, it's a painting, you can't universally look at something and have everybody be like, that's awesome, right? And no matter what you create ever, no matter what joke you tell.
Yeah, that's always, there's going to be some everything's subject to subjectivity, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Every single thing that happens, like if we name anything, like before Last Jedi, I remember Taylor Swift's new album came out, right?
Sure.
She had that song, Look What You Made Me Do. Polarizing. People like either love it or hate it, right? I heard it, I was like, that's hot.
You
And
did
that
love
song's
it. You
hot.
did like
I
that
loved
one.
it from the start. Saw the video, I was like, weird. Don't really get what she's going for
That
here.
was the one
Still
Joseph
hot.
did.
Yeah, Joseph Kahn.
Yeah.
Got famous doing my video.
Hell yeah.
That's right,
so.
Joseph
One of the most
Kahn, if you're
expensive
watching.
videos of all time.
That was amazing. So yeah, it's always going to be that way. But what I find cool in that is when people could just go out there and put themselves out there. Right?
Sure.
That's always something that's coolest for me, and that's the hardest thing for me too. Is like, especially with stand up, I try, like when I go out there, I want so desperately to find that. It sounds silly to find a truth in what I'm saying, but not be afraid to say whatever the hell I want to say and put out the comedy that I want to put out. And I always hold a little bit back because either whether it's fear or uncertainty or just insecurity about what I'm doing. But I'm always amazed by people like you, for instance, who just go, I'm going to do this thing. Hey, I'm going to do this. Like you just reach out to people and go, this is me. This is who I am. Like,
Sure.
Like spoilers for everyone sitting at home. This is Greg Miller. He has two modes. He has Greg Miller and powered down Greg Miller.
Sure.
That's
Power
it.
save Greg
is
Miller.
it.
Power
He's
save
not,
Greg
he's
Miller.
not any different. I mean, granted, we're all fairly. I'm generalizing here, but like I'm pretty close to the same person I am too. But you are.
We all just amp it up for camera.
Yeah, but you are who people expect you to be. You
I'd
are
like
the
to
Greg
think so.
Miller. You are a very genuinely like good person, and when you put yourself out there, that goes into the work.
Yeah.
Andy, on the other hand, is just a monster.
So many
Oh, he's not
Gundams.
in the room. Damn it! I thought now it's just
It's
me.
an embedded prize for him.
there you go.
But that's the same thing that I can't ever wrap my head around. But I can't wrap my head around with you, where you go to open mic after open mic after open mic, and you do and perfect the same set, but there's never a guarantee that the set is going to get a laugh that night, which is so weird when you think about it, because you'd imagine, to an extent, he's going to all these different open mics in SF. All these different people are coming out to see comedy. So if a joke kills one night, you would think it would kill the next night.
Yeah.
I think so.
But there's so much, it's chemistry,
I mean,
right?
what's funny is it's not even just locations or something. I've seen you like 10 times now.
Yeah,
I want to say something like
You've
that.
never laughed.
And
That's it. Tim and Kevin.
I'm the guy behind the camera all the time. But it's funny because even at the same venue,
Yeah.
like the place on Haight Street, Milk Bar, it's like the range of laughs you get at the same jokes is so different every time. But
Yeah,
that's
some of
comedy.
it- that's true.
It's alive, man. It's like music. It's alive.
It is. But so yeah, I mean that's something that I always think is it's cool, and I always think it's cool watching people develop and then get to that next level of whatever they're doing. You know, like that's part of the fun of this is like I'm almost a year in, and I'm looking back and going, oh, like I looked back at some of my old jokes and I'm like, wow, these are just like I'm night and day different from where I was at before. Not any better necessarily, but just my thought process, I can see that in there. And then you look forward to guys like you were talking about, Chris D'Elia and like his couple specials and how he's become one of your favorites because we saw him live at the Comedy Store. If you haven't seen
Chris D'Elia's, he has 2 specials on Netflix. There's one from 2015 and one from 2017. They're both hilarious. I watched the 2017 one first and then the 2015. Definitely start with 2015.
Is that the guy you told me to watch?
That shit's funny as fuck, man. So good.
Yeah, is
so
that the
good.
British guy?
Not British.
Not the British.
He's not British.
He's from Australia, I think.
No.
He has a joke about going to
again.
Australia. No, but he does have a whole bit about going
Nailed
to
it.
Australia now,
Yeah.
which was hilarious. But yeah, we saw him, and like you see that, and you're like, it's cool. That to me is cool. Where like you just stuck with it and kept going, and you've hit that level of being able to do what you want to do, or be at the height of what you want to do, which is cool.
I
That's
used to
awesome
think I
me.
wanted to do that, and no.
Stand up.
Yeah, but no. But no, I'm just saying because I would study comedians because the job I had when I was growing up, we worked at the fudgery.
I remember the fudgery.
Yeah, we
remember you
had
telling
to
me about the fudgery.
make the candy and sing the songs. But we had like a script that you had to learn, and then we make variations of the script. So I was like practicing my comedic timing, and but stand up. It's a whole nother beast. And when I started studying it, I was like, I don't know if I could do it. It's a whole nother thing. And I got like a lot of like my favorites are people like Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K. I saw Jerry Seinfeld live.
How was he?
Hilarious.
He's funny, man.
Dude, he was hilarious.
I can't fuck with it, man.
Dude, he was hilarious. He talked for the whole first opening of the show. He talked about, you made it, you got here, you made it. Yeah, and
Sounds like Jerry Seinfeld.
He was like, life is like a series of chairs. If you get, you get up, go to the car, sit down. You came here and you sit down and you're paying me to stand up and tell you.
It sounds like Jerry Seinfeld.
It was hilarious, though.
He's got another. He's got 2 documentaries right now on Netflix you can watch. One is Jerry Before Seinfeld, which is his newest one.
I watched that, and I remember you didn't like it, and I liked it.
I
didn't like it.
I just
I
didn't.
was the one that
I,
did.
You
I
didn't like the
love
throwback parts or
What's
something?
But if you go, well, I didn't like it.
That's the whole thing, and that's like
It's subjective, like you said.
universally, I would say Jerry Seinfeld is a funny guy, and people like Jerry Seinfeld, right?
And I agree with it. My problem is, I think in 2017, I said this last time we talked about this, but
It don't translate.
It's not that it doesn't translate. Is we have his jokes and his style of what his content is done in so many different ways. It's just tweets. It's just social media.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's BuzzFeed. It's just, well, here's a thing you can relate to.
Yeah, like his joke, for instance, where he's
well,
like,
he invented
you
it, I guess.
You live on Long Island, but you get in the subway or whatever it was. Like that.
You're
like,
going into the city, but you're on Long Island.
Yeah. So those things like that was. I mean, it's
Do you like Louis
observational.
C.K.? I thought he was hilarious.
I do like
dude.
Louis C.K. You know, I've never been a huge fan of his. Like I've tried watching a lot of his specials, and
Really?
I never really got into him. But obviously, like you admire the guy's art. You admire what he's been able to accomplish. So but like I'm more of a Bill Burr fan.
Bill Burr is funny.
Bill Burr's like there are a few comedy specials that came out last year that I thought were hilarious. Bill Burr's I liked a lot. George Lopez's new comedy special on
The Wall?
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
It's funny?
The Wall. It's hilarious.
He's got a style. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, he's a
he's a
he's top
comic,
level.
Like a
he
comic
is-
stylist, like from like the Richard Pryor days. And
Are you talking
like,
George Lopez?
even
Like-
with Kevin Hart. Like I think he has
Oh,
he's a kind of funny.
.com. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
We won, guys. We won.
Nailed it. We knocked it out of the park.
Well, Kevin Hart's crazy because he is the only comedian I've seen do a stand-up special, and I'm sure there's a lot, but the only one I've seen that's in a fucking arena.
Yeah.
And it's like the
He's
way
that
that
guy.
he does stand-up, like even the biggest dudes that I know do stand-up, and maybe they're at like the Shrine Auditorium. That
Sure.
in the Shrine Theater, whatever it is. 7,000 people in LA.
LA.
And that's huge. But then we're talking places where like,
Well, he was in
they
like
do
a
the
football
fucking
stadium.
I
Super
thought he was
Bowl.
funny in Jumanji, another movie that y'all didn't like.
We
right?
didn't see it.
We
We
didn't
didn't
see
see
it
it.
yet.
I haven't seen
You
we haven't seen
didn't?
Jumanji.
No.
Yeah.
Want to.
I'll see it
I'm
again.
stoked for it now.
I'll see it again. Let's go get high. Go see it. I'm just joking.
Hey, it's legal.
It is legal.
Cool, Greg, you got to hook up.
At this point, Kogi just takes off of his camouflage sweat hoodie and starts breaking it up in his feed. He's like, "Let's get smoke this shit right here, man. I don't give a fuck."
But so the question then I would think is interesting in the what's cool and how do you deal with, you know, people liking but not liking stuff. You go and put yourself out there as a comedian, right? But then you think it's interesting that I just do whatever the fuck I want to go do and stuff. And then you put out music. Do you still feel like when you put out a song or album, are you worried if people are going to like it, or are you just making stuff to make it because you know it's cool and awesome?
Yeah. Normally when I do music, I do the best I can to do what I think is dope.
Yeah.
And then just let the cards fall where they may.
Right.
Are you at a point where you still want everyone to like your stuff, or have you resigned to the fact that some people just know, like, there's going to be a large portion of people that love it and some people who just don't get it?
Yeah, I mean, you want them to, but you got to realize, you know, when I had the major distribution that I had before, it's what I call brainwash money. Like when you was talking about the whole Cardi B and Bruno thing, and I heard the record. Maybe I need to hear it again because everybody's, oh, it's the greatest. It's like, is it the greatest because it's the greatest, or is it the greatest because that brainwash money brainwashing you into thinking that it's the greatest?
I mean, they're marketed.
I would never say it's the greatest. I
think
think
it's the greatest, but you're saying it's dope. But I'm just
what I like about it,
like
is,
musically, the chord progressions don't really speak to me. I get it. Like it's like a joke. It's like, why did the chicken cross the road?
Yeah,
you start laughing a little bit because you're like, ha ha.
There's a lot of
it's like
nostalgia
1,000
built into
different.
that.
Yeah,
right. But it's like that does not make dope music, because you hit a chord with some cool nostalgia. You know what I mean? Because they don't even got no chemistry. Like they don't, like me personally, I like when somebody does a duet. I want to be in the fantasy and believe that they might be boning. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
because that makes the song
that
make the song sexier.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody knows that Cardi is with
it's actually two people.
Cardi's with what's his name?
She was joking.
Offset. Cardi and Offset are together, and I'm not sure if Bruno is married, but you know, and so their chemistry is almost like they like a mile apart in the video, and so I'm not. And then the chords ain't sexy.
See that?
So you got this sexy artist, two sexy artists not being sexy on this like kind of fun Will Smith throwback.
I just don't really see it as a sexy song. I see it more. It's fun. It's more
everything's
like
got to be sexy when you're an artist, man.
I like that. I like that. I enjoy. You're talking about the nostalgia. I think they really nailed it with the look of the video. It's shot in 60 frames per second to give it that. When you watch it looks like they're on a stage. It looks like you're watching them in real life.
Like the opening of like Will Smith's.
Exactly. Stuff like that is
very
super,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I like that, and also like that it's Cardi B out of her comfort zone. We've only heard her on like Offset style shit, right?
Yeah,
and to
trap,
hear her
like
on yeah, exactly. And to hear her on this, I'm like, oh shit, there's another side to her, and I enjoy that, and I also enjoy lyrically. Like again, not the dopest shit. It's definitely not the dopest shit.
Right, but you kind of got to nail it though if you're gonna go there.
Well, I think it's fun because she's the lyrics that she has. It's funny seeing the era that she grew up when. We're finally starting to see people make references. Like she has the whole shit about Lil Jon and it's like we're seeing a different generation get recognized. That I think this is a step towards.
Okay, so it's the last Jedi of music. I got it. You gotta.
I'll take that, man.
Because you got to get into the character of what they're doing. All right, I get you. It's just like you know, by me being a musician, I'm listening to music first. Is the music dope?
Right.
Like I'm not.
But
like,
do you
forget
look
the
for?
gimmick.
Are you looking for things that you think will withstand the test of time? To
Yeah,
define
absolutely.
As cool? Because
Wild
to me,
Wild
Tim showed me-
West is still a
Come
dope
on, son.
song.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Even though people didn't like the movie, I didn't think the movie was that bad, but. But I think what happened with the movie. Hear me
at
out.
PSX, Andy Cortez yelled at me for watching it.
I like that movie.
I think what happened with the movie was that the video was so good, that it effed up the movie.
Yeah, to be fair,
everybody wanted the movie to be better than the video, and it wasn't. So
lightning in a bottle.
So I'm sorry. Will Smith never called me again. Let me. True story.
True story. Oh man, I got sad. That got sad out of the blue. Oh wow.
Part of me died. No, but no, I'm saying, but like I said, the song was dope. We sampled that Stevie Wonder song. What's the name of the song?
Going straight
No.
I wish these days would come back.
Yeah.
So it was. So that was a throwback too. But when I'm covering Stevie Wonder, you gotta come.
You gotta pull a Stevie Wonder beat.
So
you
what I'm
fucking
saying is
bring
that if you're gonna go with the nostalgia, you gotta come with it. You gotta be just.
You know, it's so sad for
I think
me.
it's a different era because it's not just about the song. It's about the song. It's about the memes. It's about the video. It's about the this. It's about the dancing. It's about everything. And for someone like Bruno Mars, and it's funny me saying this to you because you are one of these people. But it's rare these days that you see someone that sings and produces and dances and does all of it. And Bruno's one of those guys. It's like, I wanted to not like Bruno Mars. I gave up on that years ago because I'm like, you're way too talented.
He's
for me to
dope,
hate on
dude.
you.
When I
he
saw
hasn't done something that isn't dope.
Yeah, when I saw him play that guitar,
Super Bowl?
when we did that Prince guitar thing, I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to just go ahead like him.
There's nothing you can't do. On
This is
drums, on
not- I mean,
guitar.
I could play the guitar too, but not like that. I was like, Jesus. I mean, I was impressed.
For this video though, like I feel like
He
this
played that?
video is like a fleeting kind of cool. Like we'll look back on it a year from now, like, oh yeah, I remember that. But right now, it captures the zeitgeist, like and the nostalgia so well of what's going on.
Gotcha,
and
gotcha.
it feels like a great idea. Like you're like, oh, that's you caught lightning in the bottle for this one thing. When Tim showed it to me, I was like, I instantly think this is awesome.
Gotcha.
If I watch it 6 months from now, am I gonna think the same thing? I probably will never watch it again. I'm not, you know, it's just one of
But
those
it hit
things.
that
It's
chord,
not like
struck
Steve
that
McQueen
chord.
where it's like, okay, that guy's undeniably cool for whatever era you're looking at him in, right? That was cool, right? Like a lot, like we were all fans. What was it? Was it Shake It Off? What was the one which was like on the white? That video. It was on white.
She was on-
She was trying to
oh,
dance.
Yeah. Taylor Swift. Shake It Off.
Yeah, that was the video, right?
Sorry, I was just.
Yeah.
Well, we all
I
watched
bought
that video. We're
that-
like,
I bought
oh,
that
that's
album,
really
by the
fun.
way.
That's
Hell
cool.
yeah, you did.
But you go back and look at it now, you're like,
because of
whatever.
you.
No, dude, I
check it out.
totally
Welcome.
disagree. That
It was
video
good.
was
It's
playing
very,
in a
very
bar I was at a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at you. I'm like, this video is like, it's iconic.
Still good. You think, so?
did
You think
the
it was
thing,
stood
man.
the test of time?
Totally. It's
Do
like,
you think the new one will though? I don't think it will.
no, look what you made me do.
Look what you
That-
baby
it's just that I don't even care about the videos, man. It was the music. And when Greg kept saying Taylor Swift, I was like, let me. And my niece was like a huge Taylor Swift fan.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, well, let me check it out. And I listened, and musically, she definitely, absolutely did not write those songs, man. 20 people
she
wrote
didn't.
like one song.
Oh, she wrote
It's-
some of them, but
No. She might
On
have
89?
wrote in it, but yes,
Okay.
dude. Like that one song that look in your eyes.
Oh yeah.
That song is like from a musical standpoint, it's like perfect. The the mix, the vocals, the lyrics, the
Well,
instruments.
she has to have her pick of the
but
of
I'm
the litter
saying
when it
like,
comes to
but as a
creative people,
musician,
right?
as a songwriter,
Yeah.
I can hear 78 people wrote that record because you can't. It was too perfect. It was too perfect.
Interesting.
That record is perfect, dude. It's sonically, it's just man, it's like serious. And then I was like, okay, I get the Taylor Swift thing now.
Good.
Right.
And the reputation. You're like, yeah. Whatever. It's not that
really
great.
is.
I got it.
It's like, man.
It's
It's
so
like,
whatever.
we bought it and we listened to it on
so
that
Taylor
LA thing.
Swift was cool. I mean, but I like that album was dope.
She still is cool.
I don't know, man.
Cool.
That was
I mean,
that was
cool
messed
is
up what she
such a-
did to Kanye. But I mean, we gotta go.
Fuck that. Kanye has it coming.
Does he?
Yes, he ruined the awards, and I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive him.
What? I wouldn't even know who she is if it wasn't for that.
Well, you know what?
Damn.
I mean, I'm gonna let you talk, but
Let's talk.
All right.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be
This-
polarizing every once in a while.
What? You got more?
I was going to bring up one more thing about the cool.
Go for it.
thing. Is something that was interesting to me is Eminem just put out his 9th studio album.
so good,
Really?
dude. That song
Is it cool?
Walk on Water?
No, the one with
Cool guy. Which one? With Untouchable.
Untouchable, dude. That was. I mean, as a person of color, I was like, "What? Thank you, Eminem," because people needed to hear that. It was.
I have not heard it.
not
What
heard it.
exactly
Oh, you
is the
gotta hear
message
it.
behind it?
Yeah, I mean, it was. Well, first of all, lyrically, he was really giving it up, and then he was telling the truth, and I believed him. When it comes to artists and what I deem dope is basically when you're singing something, I gotta believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. If I believe it, then because it could be wet. Like for instance, Soulja Boy, that song. How about I put my
Turn my swag
on? I think I lick in him. Now as a singer, It was horrible. It was so bad that it was good because he committed.
Yeah.
Like you said, to a joke, he committed to that record. And I was like, dude, this is so bad that it's good.
Well, that's what
just
I'm
like
saying,
when Cardi first came out.
Yeah.
It was like, it was so ratchet, but that's
her thing, man. She's
so I'm
all
like,
over the
yo,
ratchet, for sure.
you can't hate when it's real.
That's
real
what I'm saying, right? When
real.
you find that sort of like truth in it, right? That honesty in it. It might not be a message you agree with, but when you find someone that like puts themselves out there with that, that's a rare thing to me.
Yeah.
That's something that I strive to be, and I haven't quite hit that level yet. But where it's like I am this, and like it does really for me boil down to like I still want everyone in the world to love me, right? I see a future where there's not one person on this planet that goes, I don't love it. Like Nick Scarpino. Great guy. Love that guy, right? But if you really want to put your message out there, it's probably going to be a little polarizing. And at a certain point, you might piss someone off, or so you might run the risk of someone going, I don't like that guy. He doesn't vibe with me. But I just don't think you can get to that next level unless you're willing to go, this is for me. I'm putting this message out. It's for the people that I know will connect with, and that is it. Right? And other people find me cool and we'll all grow together, but I can't be worried that I have to please everyone because it's just going to melt, it's going to vanilla and 100% down the message.
That's what we talk about. I mean, with our own content here, right? I think if you're creating anything, that's got to be the zeitgeist behind it, the message behind it, the thrust behind it is the fact that I'm creating something I would watch or that I would enjoy, and that's going to appeal to an audience. And whether that audience is 2 people or 200 people or 2,000 people, that's just how it's got to be. You can't sit there and like do the math on, okay, well,
sure,
I won't say this, but I will say this, right? If I say this, I'm going to lose these people, so I shouldn't say that.
Right. I mean, that's literally an internal dialogue I have every time I go up on stage. Where I'm like, I see, and because there's a difference between like what we do here and then going up on stage, and that difference is that you get to actually look into the person's eyes as you're saying a joke about them or what they represent, and you see the reaction, and it's either a laugh or it's a like not even a head nod. Most people are courteous, but it didn't resonate, right? Or not. It was in poor taste or whatever. So it's hard to be like, I'm gonna have the courage to go out there and like say the things I really think are funny or I think are that people need to be socially aware of, and I'm gonna use humor to make them aware of that, and then look out a bunch with people that either fell on deaf ears or they straight up don't like you.
or they might not be quick enough to get it.
That's possible.
And then
too. I might just be too smart for everyone.
You'll be appreciated 20 years after your death.
Like he was actually a genius.
People are gonna go back and watch these and be like, he was, he never flip flopped.
There was a nuance to his flip flopping.
Mark Hamill didn't like anything that he had to do in Last Jedi, but still committed to it.
It's true. Yeah, that's true.
So I had to respect it.
And half the people that watch that movie appreciate that.
All half of us.
The other half. All half of us.
Yeah. So this segues into my topic pretty actually well.
Awesome.
So my topic is if you saw me tweet on New Year's Eve, that basically, if you haven't, here's the thrust of it. In 2018, I'm going to write a Superman comic. Not for DC Comics, unless you want to call me Jim Lee and Jeff Jones. But I'm going to write my own script for a Superman comic and put it out there. And, I assume we've already had artists approach me on the internet and stuff like that about trying to draw it or do stuff, right?
Just slide into your DMs, though? Where they're like, hey, what's up?
No, it's just Andre being like, hey, I'll draw this if you want. I'm like, all right, probably, yeah. So I know that I've said before I have this great idea for a Superman video game, right?
Oh, thank you, please.
And then for years now, I've never told you this idea because I have a vision for that video that I know we can produce and we'll make the way we want it and we'll do it great. I've already said on the stream for our anniversary that'll happen this year. I'm still not going to tell you about that. So when I did the comic, first off, thank you all for your support. I put out this tweet that I thought would just be something that gets like all my normal comic tweets, maybe 100 hearts, and I'd be done with it. Something like 4,000 people have hearted it, and so much love, and like, oh my god, this is really cool, and I'm glad you're trying this and doing this thing.
It is super cool. When I saw that shit, I was like, damn, Greg.
Well, I mean, a huge part of this is Nick Scarpino. Is the fact of last year, like I don't do New Year's resolutions, and then last year when you're like, I'm gonna do comedy this year, I was like, oh, that's cool, and then you actually did. Here we are a year later, and you're about to go play Cobb's Comedy Club. You know what I mean? Like you've made this happen, you put in the work, and you did all this different stuff. And I've thought about writing comic books before, and had an idea here or there, other stuff, and then like kind of funny. Not that I'm leaving kind of funny. Kind of funny was the creative outlet I needed when we first started, and we were doing GOG. Well, first off, Conversation with Colin, and then the Oreo show, and then now this and stuff like that. And I'm not saying this doesn't give me what I want anymore, but it's just cool to stretch your legs and do something else, right?
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is the fact that there just aren't people necessarily. So many people get Superman stories wrong. That's long and short of it.
Was
right?
it difficult?
We're we're at step one of this.
ground level.
And so what I was leading into
Sounds very difficult.
it is. No, I mean, like, well, it's also learning a new way of writing, right? Like, I've written fiction before, and I've written newspaper articles before, and I've written plays before, but I just read Brian Michael Bendis's book, like, and I'm all the stuff I need
I've
to.
written plays.
Well, I mean, like in college, I don't mean like I'm like
Shakespeare.
Yeah. I did the Spider-Man Turn on the Dark musical or whatever the hell.
Dude.
Oh man.
But like with the video game Superman pitch, I'm not gonna say anything till we do it because I want this. I have a vision of that. The comic book, I'm gonna pitch it all right now. What I have so far, and I want everybody to know, everybody at this table, I've never been nervous for a GOG topic before. I am terrified of this.
Let's go.
Not because, and this is what we're talking about. Jumping off the last thing. This is a good idea for a comic. I believe in this comic. This is a comic I would want to read, right? My problem is, how do you fucking pitch a comic book, right, to a bunch of your friends at a table?
Like this, go.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I want you to read panel by panel and explain what
Well, see, that's my thing. Is like, so where we are with me in this comic book, right, is that I've started writing, and I have scenes I know I want, and like, there's a scene. So for me, it starts in terms of like, why now, what's happening, right? Over break, we were driving, we flew to Chicago, spent time with my family, then flew to Vermont to spend time with Jen's family because she can't leave the country. They drove down, yada, yada, yada. When we were driving out of Vermont or whatever, because we went to Burlington, you go over this giant bridge right out that has water on both sides. And then we went into South Hope, and then up into North Hope is where we stayed in a log cabin or whatever. And it's cold and it's shitty and it was snowing, and not shitty, but it's cold and sleety and all this stuff. And I was looking out the window because Jen and her sister just got reunited after months apart, and they're speaking French, and I can't understand a goddamn word. So I'm sitting out the back looking at the thing, and I'm just like, man, it'd be cool to be Superman, but it would suck to just have to, how like Superman hovers there or whatever, like, and he listens, and like to be there and have the snow pelting him in the face, right? And like, and then I thought I had this image that's not even in this book because it just doesn't fit, but of him sitting there getting pelted with the thing and just being like, the one thing nobody ever tells you about Vermont is that the weather sucks. And for me, that was the first time where I found a voice for the Superman I want, right? Because I always talk about Superman whenever we talk about the movies, the comic books, whatever, right? That the iteration of Superman, that is my iteration, is that he's Clark Kent, he's from Kansas. Yes, he's an alien. Yes, he crashed here. Yes, he has these powers. He identifies as a farm boy from Kansas. He is, Smallville when Lois calls him that. He's never the New 52 Superman that was, I'm very much an alien in this world. Both my parents are dead. I'm trying to figure all this out. And so from there, it just started going of what would the Superman story I'd want to tell with that Superman, right? Because Superman never says sucks, and he would never say Vermont's weather sucks. But like, if he was a normal person, which I vision him to be, he would. And that, like even.
So you humanize him.
Yeah,
so
you're
that
definitely
you can relate
humanizing
to
him.
him.
So here we go. The title of my book is Superman. Not clever, I know. And this will be incredibly hard to tell anybody without seeing it. I mean, in terms of when you pitch this book, it's Superman, but it's strike through text on super. So it's Superman with the line through it, right? And so this is where everybody stick with me, because again, this is an idea in flux that'll change a million times, and I don't have everything nailed down, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you the scenes as they go, hopefully, and maybe reveal stuff earlier than the book would reveal to the reader and things along those lines. I want it to open right, and it's Clark and it's Superman and Lois, him getting interviewed, right? And she's got the notepad, maybe a tape recorder, and she's sitting there talking. And the first word bubble is something to the idea. I had it because I wrote, I'm sure this will change, right? Everyone thinks I have power, like unlimited, unchecked power. It doesn't work like that, right? Like, so that's one box, then another box, and then we're right into this interview. And this alone, I hope, starts talking immediately for what I hate about people. I love Christopher Reeve. I love the Richard Donner movies. They totally fucked up Superman for multiple generations. Because, hey, here's a hero who can rewind time. He's so powerful, he can revert. So like, where's the drama? Why does he ever have an emotional connection to any of these peons, right? And so many people, when you talk to about
when he
Superman.
caught that airplane, when he caught that helicopter, I was...
Oh, dude, the amazing scene. I'm not taking
Superman
away.
For every,
sure.
Dude, I was Superman for every
Who's got
Halloween. And one year they ran out of the Superman Halloween costume, and I had to be Batman.
Yeah.
So I wore like the Batman face with the Superman costume.
Nice.
And everybody was calling me Batman. I was like, no, I'm Superman. That's how much I love Superman.
But I want to immediately set the scene of my Superman, right? That he isn't all powerful, and he's obviously an alien powered by Earth's yellow sun and can do all these different things. He's not all powerful, and he's going to be in situations he can't control, right? And again, to reveal, I think, to you guys early on, this is going to be a book or a series, right? And this is where it gets weird for me right now as somebody who's now reading and trying to plot all this out of, well, if I'm not really making it for DC Comics, do I have to stick to 20-page issues? Do I just tell one giant story? If I tell one giant story, where do I break it up? Where do I do all this different stuff?
Do it like American...
Alien? Yeah, but even that, it was like...
Yeah, it was like a...
Yeah, but Max had the number of issues he needed to work in, right? So, but I'll get to all that or whatever, right? So it's him getting interviewed by Lois, telling her this story, right? And all his power unchecked. I don't have that. That's not how this works. And she's like, well, how does it work? You know what I mean? And she's interrupting him and asking him. And this is for you, the viewer then, or listener who knows me and knows my background. The reason I'm feeling like confident in the story already and writing this dialogue, right, is that in a very weird way, this is me interviewing Superman now, right? Like, I feel like I'm a good interviewer. I feel like I have a good journalism degree from a great journalism school. And so I'm ZOU. I'm immediately sitting there and setting the scene and using that as my thing, right?
Good job with Andy Serkis, by the way.
Thank you so much. A couple of the interruptions I have in there, right? I'm actually including anecdotes from my college professors and stuff like this. And like, she's stopping him and asking him to clarify names and dates and stuff as he goes or whatever. Because he's telling her this story that is unfolding obviously on the pages in front of you. She's being a reporter to him and stuff. So it's a Superman Lois interview. The story he's telling, right, is that set in Vermont on that bridge. I went and looked at it on Google Maps when I started writing it, and in my mind, I thought the bridge was high. It doesn't look like it is high, so I think I have to really... I'm gonna
take some artistic license with it.
Well, I know, but I think I can make it
There's
work,
a lot of
right?
bridges in Vermont, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Depends on where you're shooting from.
Exactly, right? And so...
Billions of bridges.
It's winter, it's winter time, it's ice. He's telling the story of Vermont, right? And basically, it's going to be that he's... my whole crux here, right, is that I love Superman because of the human moments. I love Superman because of Clark Kent. My whole book here is always going to be set in these human moments, these things we can all connect to that make sense, right? So this is him shooting back, and he's telling Lois the story of basically he was up in New Brunswick, right? Black Manta was raising a whole bunch of troops out of the water up there. Him and Arthur stopped him, and he was coming back to Metropolis. When he breaks out of the sound barrier and punches out, he just hears, "Man, Superman!" And he's like, "What the? Oh!" And he like shoots down. He's above Vermont, sees this woman out on the ice screaming for Superman, and he comes down. He's like, "What's wrong?" And he sees the hole in the ground, X-ray vision, all that jazz, in the ice, I should say, not the ground. Shoots down, pulls out the car, puts it down, rips off the door, does it, and her husband's dead already.
Oh.
And she's like, runs up and is screaming at him and pounding, and I'm like, "Why weren't you here? Like, what are you doing? Like, how?" And he's like, now cutting back to him and Lois sitting there having this conversation. He's talking about like, this was early on. I didn't, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like going out, and it's this story of him failing this woman. It's this story of him failing this family. And it's this story of her not understanding that. Her going back to the unchecked power and being like, you can hear everything. You can hear, you know what I mean? I have all this stuff in there with him trying to explain to Lois how it works, that it isn't that he can hear everything, that it is like right now. And this is when I was talking to you guys. I haven't told them the story before, but I was talking to Tim and Nick yesterday about like, when I read, before when I've tried to write a comic book, I'll sit there and I'll look at it and I'll have a storyline. I'm like, oh, great. And it'll be like, this is how you lay it out, and this is how you describe a panel, and this is how you know when to put breaks in there. And when you're looking at it, it just didn't work. And when I was tinkering around with other stuff, and even in the Bendis book, which is amazing, and I think you should just read it for our script writing or anybody who wants to be creative.
What was it called?
Words for Pictures. And it's totally inspiring. It's written like, I think, podcast, where it's just, hey, I'm talking. It's a narrative. We're just talking, and that's how it's going to be. But it talks in there about like, not everybody's going to like what you do. You have to believe in what you do, and people will come to that, which is what we've said forever about Kind of Funny. But it's awesome when you go in there and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing to hear somebody else say that about the thing I'm trying to embark on. When I sat down and started writing this, and I was like, I'm just going to write dialogue, because I cannot sit here and be like, it's a medium panel and this is what's happening. When I started writing the dialogue, that immediately started informing what they would be. And I was like, oh my God, it was like a light switch moment of like, when he's describing to Lois, like, it's not like that. I can tell you that outside there's been this car accident. I have it written down, but like outside, these two guys are arguing about the Meteors game last night. Over there, somebody's burning something. And like you can see the little pop-ups that are like super close-ups that like he's picking up on it and knows. And I was like, fuck, that's how comics happen. That's cool. Anyways, we're still nebulous here, right? In my mind. So he's telling Lois this story, and I believe what it's going to be is that every year he goes back to that spot and meets up with that woman. And Lois being like, you don't have to do that. Like, you've been doing this a long time now. You didn't fail her. And he's like, I know that, and she knows that now, but I need this as a reminder. Because if I just give in to what everybody thinks of me, then yeah, the weight of the world's on my shoulders, and I can't be that person, and I lose who I really am when I take off the cape and when I walk away. And it's him and her talking, and like, this is where it'll be, I hope, a cool thing for the reader, and I'm spoiling it for you, obviously, and everybody watching. Still buy the book if it ever happens. Or, I mean, just read it. I'm not going to sell it. Obviously, DC would sue my ass off, right? But it's him being like,
we can figure it out.
we're selling this pen along with a comic. You know what I mean? Like, a comic's free. But it's him having this conversation with her.
It's genius.
Almost being broken down. Well, that's how you used to sell college tickets. When you came out for the Mizzou Illini game, you couldn't sell the tickets above face value on eBay, but if you included a souvenir Missouri pen, you could sell it for whatever the fuck you wanted to. Because you were selling the pen, and then the kick-in was there was tickets too.
Yeah.
Nice. eBay in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? Anyways, he's having this super serious conversation at the table with her, right? And she's reporting, doing all this stuff, has her tape recorder going, and like when they get to a natural breaking point or ending, and he's just like,
can we fuck?
No. No, but close, right? And he just goes through, he's like, all right, are you going to type this up? I'll go take care of John. And she's like, yeah. And he gets up and he walks upstairs. And like, that's the first time where you're like, oh, this is happening. Hopefully this is happening in current continuity. This is happening where they're married and have a child. And then it's her typing, and it's going to be her
son, John.
Yeah, exactly. Her at the computer, and her first lines of dialogue or text will be, something to the effect of, I've only worked out the end of this, but people always think that Superman's all powerful. That he's never able. Why they think that his most impressive power is Superman's most impressive power is flight or heat vision or that. It's not. Clark's most impressive power is his heart. Period. End of issue 1 is where I see it, right? And so I want you to finish and be like, wow, that number one, if I do this right, number one, wow, that's cool that Superman's human and at the table and thinks about this. Number 2, wow, that was a cool turn. Number 3, why is Lois Lane writing about Superman and calling him Clark? Like, what is she doing there, right? So then, again, this is where it gets interesting is it multiple issues? Is it one giant thing? I don't know. The next story I want to tell is super in flux, but it might involve Cool Greg in a way. But basically what I need to do is Superman is telling another story of him fucking up. And not to the somebody dying extent, just him being a normal human, right? And he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And it's going to be, I need probably help on this one. But him stopping somebody in his second day of being Superman, second day of wearing the tights, right? Stopping somebody doing
the armor.
Stopping somebody like jaywalking or doing graffiti or like totally like don't fucking do that, but not like a mass murderer, right? Yeah. And so the scene's going to be, as he's telling Lois or whatever the thing, but like the scene, and this is my favorite part about right now writing the book, which is super nerdy and whatever. But when I write Clark and Lois talking, it's Clark. And when we jump to the other thing, it's Superman dialogue, which I think is cool. It's a cool change for my head, at least. I don't know. I'm just enjoying the process in general. But it's him, and basically, he's going to be like, and we'll jump back from the scene of him stopping whatever small thing this is, but not the guy giving him gruff and him not really knowing how to, verbally spar with somebody, or just like, why would I stop doing this? Why wouldn't you? And it'll just cut back to him, and it'll be like, so I didn't really know what to do. And it would be like a beat, and she's like, so what did you do? And he's gonna go, and like a close up on him, eye roll, right? And he's like, I did the red eye thing. And then we're gonna cut back to her, and it's gonna be like her deadpan for a second. She's his wife, right? They've been together, and it's gonna be her starting to break and then losing it, and like him losing it too. I'm like, you did the red eye thing? And he's like, it was my second date. I don't know. And like, again, this is hard. I'm telling you this. I hope jump to where I was, right?
We're seeing it.
Of him grabbing this guy and doing the red fucking heat vision eyes. And she's gonna be like, you save that for Dark Side. You save that for when somebody steals. You don't do, and he's like, it was my second day. I don't know.
To intimidate him.
I thought exactly. No, but you've seen it.
He burnt the tag off.
No.
Burned his brain out of the back of his head.
And visually it'll totally make sense into a Superman or a comic book reader, right?
I love it because it's like, that's such a great payoff to it. But I also love the idea of like, what is a problem that Superman can't fix?
Yeah, that is just like
cool. I love that.
I don't know if you're open for feedback at this point.
I want all of it.
So my first thought where you're going to go with that is like, okay, what happens after that? Where does that kid go? who is now terrified of Superman.
Sure.
Right? And this is what I like about this.
turns to a villain.
When you humanize someone, right?
Yeah.
You humanize someone, you're talking about consequences.
Yeah.
You're talking about what, like Superman, the problem in the movies is that he can do anything and he does do everything, right? But we never really get to see the consequences of it. They kind of sprinkled them in a little bit where it was like he destroyed the world, not Batman's going to try to kill him. I guess that kind of works.
Yeah.
But what I like about this is what would happen if you were graffitiing a wall and Superman came down and said, I'm going to like threaten to burn your face out, right?
Yeah,
What
right.
would that make you?
Yeah.
And then what happens if you caught up with that person 8 months later and he just got out of jail because he was trying to kill? I don't know. Like,
No, you're
thing
with
is
me, right?
Yeah,
'Cause I
where
think-
does that go? Like, I would love to revisit that story and be like, and then I checked back in on that person and I totally ruined his fucking life.
You're right there. And I don't want it to be ruin his life, but I do want it to be that
I put him on a course that was
Clark
other
Kent
than where I
/
should have
Superman have to have a moment with this guy down the line, right? Because that is the thing of like, I have a great moment there. I
Yeah.
need to flesh it on both sides. Because again, because I hope everybody's thinking this is neat so far, right? Of like, these human stories.
Like All-Star Superman was a little.
Yeah, and I definitely want him grounded, right? Like that's my thing of like the, great comics. I always talk about American Alien, obviously, but like, even Michael J. Straczynski's grounded Superman story. While overall it got weird at the end, like there were so many awesome moments, and whenever like it's suicide awareness stuff, you always see that one pop up, right? Of him just hovering there with this woman who wants to jump. Like that's the kind of fucking story I want to tell. Of like, here's Superman as a man, here's Superman as a person, and again. Like similar to the Vermont weather sucks thing of like he's not fucking Jesus all the time. He has thoughts of his own. He's not.
Thoughts, right?
He doesn't have to be like that, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
but no, you're right on the money. Of yes, like the payoff to that story is that there is more of him trying to make it right. Because again, everything in this book has to go back to Clark's greatest power is his heart, and so that's that, right? So there's another story here. It's her finding it again. Now this is again, I'm going nebulously with you. Filing the story.
Got it.
Putting it into her computer at home, right? Hitting end and like my idea is that it's in issue 1 when he goes upstairs, it's her signing into the computer and doing some kind of like secure thing, like showing that this isn't like on a public server. It isn't just in her Word, my documents file on her computer. Same thing, closing out. And I don't know if this is again, if there is an issue 2 or if this is one giant thing, blah, 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 blah. I digress, guys. But at some point, whether it's after this story or if it's after another story like this, right? It's her closing it down, turning off the light, going upstairs, us hanging on the computer for a while, maybe seeing the time pass, and then seeing the computer remote start, open up, someone off-site's taking control, opening it up, looking through all the documents, finding this one, taking it, or copying it or whatever, right? And then that's the end of that issue or that cliffhanger or whatever the fuck it is. So... Again, that was jumbled, but narratively, Lois is writing this book about Superman, even revealing that he's Clark Kent, or telling these stories at least, filing these pieces about Superman.
So they're gonna tell the world.
So,
good old Batman. He tells everybody.
They jump in.
You know I'm Batman, right? You know I'm Batman.
Somebody steals this document. We don't know who it is. We don't know why. We don't know how. But we know as readers closing that issue, that's how that ends, right? So then, I want issue 3 or just a moment in the next one, right? Is the way I see it opening up. After that is them the morning after, right? And like we don't know that they know, but obviously they know because it's just them sitting at the kitchen table in silence, like 4 panels going down, right? Until probably the last panel, hers going. Maybe it's a good thing people have it. And then there's this discussion, right? Of like, I don't know what we're gonna do, and it's Superman again being a human being of like, Cyborg made this for me. He made this server for us. Like it's supposed to be totally invulnerable. No one's being able to get in there. Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, you do you want to hit him up and try to get a trace on it that way?" Because she's like, "You work for farm in Kansas. You don't know how to do this." He's like, "I know," but he's like, "No, he's off world doing something with the new gods. There's a reason he can't." And then it's more beasts, and she's like, "Well, you know who we have to talk to then?"
Kevin.
And again, it's
he said Kevin.
Yeah.
You know who we have to
call
talk to
Kevin.
then, right? And it's another like. Clark like, I don't want to talk to him about this. And she's like, we have to. And it's like, all right, I'll call Bruce.
Right.
And so then the next jump is them in the cave. And it's I know this is the Batman I'm picturing. And this is super fucking nerdy. So everyone stick with me.
Okay.
Is I want the angry, stouter Batman from the cover recently of Superman where Damian and Jonathan meet for the first time.
Yeah.
And if you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
it's Superman looking down with this like grin and Batman coming up and like snarling at him, right? And so we can jump to a full page splash of Batman being like, why would your wife be writing a book about you? Not hands out like that, but like doing the Batman, like what in God's name would possess you to do this,
Right,
Clark,
right.
right? And this conversation goes on a while, but it's him and Lois in the Batcave talking about this, right? And I don't have this down yet, but I want Clark to be being Clark about it, where he's like, what? She's a reporter, Bruce. This is what she does. And like, we thought there was a lot of value. And he's like, value? Why would there be value in laying all your secrets out? He's like, you don't understand. I'm not explaining it well. There's a value in it because he's blah, blah, and then basically we're going to get to a frame, right, of Batman. I again, I'm pitching, so it's fine. And I don't have it all written down. I don't want it to escalate too much to where it seems like it's a low blow or too much, but it's basically going to be Batman to some extent being like, I have to basically questioning I have to question her motives on this. Marrying Superman and writing a book about him, I have to question her motives about it. To which point
She's trying to get a reality show.
To which point we cut back.
Wags, man, wags. You know what I mean?
To which point we cut back to Superman now for real.
Right,
and
right.
he's done playing the bumbling Clark, and it's the glowing red eyes thing.
Oh.
And he's like, don't
Say
do that.
something about my lady again.
Don't do this, right? And then it's going to be the next frame of Lois jumping in between them, pushing them apart, turning to him and being like, listen, I get that the dark, the cave and the Bowery and the blackness and the anger and that works for you. That's not what Clark is. Clark is inspiration. I'm writing this book because someday everyone needs to know about him. When he dies, people aren't going to need to know that he was this god that stopped the sun and knocked out Darkseid and did all these different things. They're going to need to know that he was a normal man who rose above his circumstances to be better, and that's what people need to know. They need to know Clark. They need to know what he was about, right? And she's like, and God forbid if that day comes sooner than later, my son needs to know his father. And so like that's I'm tinkering obviously of like why, but I think that works for like again because she could be blinked out of existence. He could die. You know what I mean? Like in a moment that could all happen and somebody needs to have told the story of who Superman really fucking was.
Yeah.
And I obviously need to finesse that, obviously.
No, I like that.
But that needs to click for Batman, and I'm not sure how to do that. But clicking for Batman will just be like, all right, let's look at let's look at the computer. And they go to the computer and try to track it back. And it's turned out that, it's all bounced all over the place. I'll look at computer technology and names why. But
People download it on Kazaa.
No, it's not out. It's not
Napster.
out. No, it's not out. Nobody's made contact. So it's been taken, but nobody knows by who or by what, right? And so it's bounced all around. He can't get a signal on it. He'll keep looking on it, blah, blah, blah. They go back to Metropolis. And this is, again, now I'm missing a beat in this midsection.
I want you to know, I'm so in this.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
that
good.
I'm just like, what's happening? Like,
Okay.
I'm trying to get ahead of like, who is it? Who's
Right.
behind this?
Right.
This is good. This is good. Did go.
No, it's fine,
It
it's
was
fine.
the kid. It was
Graffiti kid.
Cool Greg.
There's so many options in my head. Keep going. Keep going.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm missing some next event, next beat. I haven't sit down and outlined everything, right? But Lois gets a message. Lois and Clark get a message on the same computer, right? Of like, we need to talk. You know what I mean? Don't bring police. Come to probably the top of the Daily Planet, but that doesn't make any sense how the fucking person's gonna get up there. But I'll figure it out. Wherever they want to meet. And so it's...
I'm listening. I'm writing some notes.
I know. Oh, no. It's Superman and it's Lois and they're standing there or whatever, right? And yeah, this kid walks up. And it's like, did you play... And it's not going to be her, but this is the vision I have of her. Did you play Batman Season 2 yet? For the Telltale game?
Oh, nah.
It's fine.
The walking simulator is not really for me.
Get out of here. But it's I see it
Press
being
A
like
now.
Lucius Fox's daughter. Like it is not Lucius Fox's daughter, but that look, right, of that person. I'm a teen. I'm this African American girl. I have this computer.
I'm fly.
I'm fly. I was and she walks up and she was like, "Hey," and like Superman's doing the red eye thing, and Lois like, "Don't do the red eye thing." Anyway, she went. She
want
walked.
me to? Oh,
Yeah. She walks up and she's like. And again, none of this dialogue's finalized. I haven't written the scene or even started writing the scene. But basically, it's like, this wasn't on purpose. Like, I had been looking into the arrest of my brother. I needed more info. I know that Lois Lane wrote all the stories about it because she covered the criminal case files. I couldn't get in there. And Lois can be like, well, why didn't you hit me up at the Daily Planet? And she's like, you're the world's most famous reporter. It's kind of hard to get past the front door to talk to you. And so I went in this because I'm a good hacker and da-da-da-da-da. And like, I went and it's gonna be like, you're not a good hacker. You're one of the best in the world if you could. That's Superman, right? If you can get through the security you had or whatever. But it basically comes down to the fact of like, this wasn't on purpose. She didn't mean to get it. She's in over her head and she's a good person. And she's like, I'm giving it all back. This is my computer. You can take it. Do whatever you want. I'm not looking for trouble. Please don't put me in jail. I'm still trying. And it's like true Superman fashion of like, of course not. And like, tell me about your brother and blah 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 blah. But it's this thing of. She's like, why did you write this? And she's like, well, we did it in case, somebody needs to know one day about who Clark is. And this is, I'm working on it, obviously. But she's like, no, you don't get it. People do need to know this. People need to know this right now. Like, have you looked around what's happening? Like, we're not getting better because he's here. We are leaning more on him. We are thinking he's a god. Like, we need help. We need Clark Kent. And like that's obviously not word for word or anything like that. But they break away, right? And it is back to that kitchen table, and it's just them sitting there with their coffees, like the computer in front of her, thinking about it or whatever, right? And so then that's my ending to this book, because I'm not thinking of a sequel or anything like that or whatever, is Lois drafting again on her computer again, drafting, right? And it's her writing an email to her publisher. I'm like, I think I have a book you're going to want to publish. And like hit send, and that's the end.
That's cool, because it makes you want to read the book within the book.
And see, the idea for me for that gets pulled out of the same way of like, whenever I'm reading a Superman comic and Lois is narrating the story and I get the little LL boxes and stuff, I can tell that it's being written as if she was writing it like a reporter, but like, where would she be filing the stories? And so the undercurrent to this, of course, isn't that there's just the 2 stories she's put in it. It's that she's been chronicling their entire life. And I'd bring that up and talk about it. So every Superman story she's ever told you in a Superman story, you'd imagine would be in this book as well, with the behind the scenes, like,
That's
you know.
cool.
And so like, there would be like, I'm sure there'll be a table of contents at some point that will reference the real fights and stuff that have happened, right? But this is the definitive edition from the man's wife of like what it was like to live with Superman and what Superman is and who Clark Kent is.
Dope as fuck, man.
And so I just want, like, it's telling us, like, yeah, it's this lots. Thank you. Lots to figure out in there. Lots and months of work probably in front of me, because I don't want to like drop off kind of funny to go right.
There, man.
But like that's the kind of, that's my Superman, right? That there is a human there behind the S, and he's just trying to make all life better. And he's coming to do something.
What are y'all talking about?
What I missed.
Hey guys, I just woke up. What's going on?
No, I really like that. I like that you're playing around with humanizing him. I like that you're playing around with like him, his self doubt, and what that potentially, the power in that, right? The power of showing that to the world, of like, maybe it's more powerful that he is a human who just has these extra abilities.
Well, I mean,
but he's still fallible.
One of the best moments for Superman, I think, that totally gets ignored, and of course, as soon as episode 2 rolls around, it's not even a thing anymore. But in Superman the Animated Series, there's this beautiful moment where it's, again, he's got the cape and tights on for the first time, and there's a plane crashing, and he flies up on it, grabs the wing, tries to stop it, and the wing rips off. And he just goes, nice job, Clark, and then shoots back out. You know what I mean? Because it is like such a, oh right, like if I suddenly had powers, how the fuck do I stop a plane? I don't know. And you try to figure it all out.
Yeah, I like the idea. I like the idea thematically that you're playing with, as far as like telling the other stories. I wonder if there should be like a B plot of something that he has to deal with, a big thing he has to deal with, and we're seeing that thematically play out through that. You know, like if he has to get pulled away from these interviews for something, or if there is another plot of like Lex Luthor's doing something, and he has to make those hard decisions. We see him having to make those hard decisions, and as he's learning, we're also seeing thematically as he tells these stories, and hopefully 3 beats, right? With the graffiti kid, for instance, where like he thinks he ruined his life, and maybe at the end he actually did, and he set him on the straight and narrow, and just by I don't know if we check back in with him, and he apologized to me, he goes, fuck you, because what's that?
Is he the brother or no?
Doesn't need to be. I mean, that could happen, yeah. But I also think it could be a cool thing as a callback to issue 1. And she's like, so, when's the last time you checked in on him?
Yeah, so
the graffiti guy, never. I don't know.
I think he should have checked back with him and realized that maybe he set him on a course that was bad, and then check back with him a 3rd beat and realize that, and doing that, and in saying I'm sorry,
because it would be the same thing of like us when we got in the drone, pissed off our neighbor, right? Of going back over there and be like, hey, I was wrong, and like Superman can do that too, right? The next day, come back like, hey. Kind of put the fear of God into you on that one.
I think it would be fascinating to see if you checked back with him, like, so that's at the very beginning, right? Midway through, when he's been mulling it over for a long time, it's been eating at him. He goes back, he finds the kid, but the kid's in jail or whatever. Yeah. And he goes, hey, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. And the kid's like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it right now? Like, you terrified me. I have an abusive past. I've been like, everyone in my fucking life has done this to me, and you were the one you were the one that I looked up to, and you fucking, like, you did this to me, so fuck you. And then Superman's like, I'm sorry, and they have that unfortunate beat, and then later it comes back in, and just for having done that, sets the kid on the right by saying, I'm wrong, I did something wrong. The kid realizes, holy shit, even Superman could do something wrong. And then we say that. That was note 1. Note 2, you got to save that reunion with the wife for the end. That has to be him making that has to be him making him like forgiving himself and going there and seeing her and realizing that she has a kid maybe that's grown up now.
Sure.
That maybe she was pregnant when that happened and he saved both their lives. Couldn't save the dad because you can't save them all, but at least she got to spend her entire life with this kid. Something like that, right?
No, that's good.
But like
that's good.
I just imagine the last closing panel is him walking on the ice and like the kid, or like maybe it's springtime or whatever. There's no ice and they're at the lake or whatever. I don't know how you're gonna tie that together visually.
No, I like the ice. I like the ice.
The ice, right? And they're there and she's putting the flowers down and he puts the flowers down and looks over and she's there with him or something like that.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
have
cool.
to say anything.
That's cool.
Maybe
But
add
that
a
could be
tornado with the truck that he could definitely save his dad,
Sure.
but then have him not save his dad. Or not.
Don't do it.
Dad, this is the stupidest thing ever. Like, I'm gonna come get you, all right?
just
I'm
gonna walk
Superman.
up
I'm
there.
really
No one's
fast. Really fast.
Also, the
think
kid
this
that
is
works at the
super
IHOP
fucking
knows
rad.
exactly who I am already. I'm pretty sure he told everyone.
Yeah. His
So
entire
it's
town knows
not
I
a big deal.
lifted a school bus as a 7-year-old son.
Yeah, pretty sure everyone knows.
I love it. I think
Thank
it's a. I like that there's a like the whole thing is one story because even with American Alien, which I absolutely love, and I get that it's a bunch of parts of a whole. I like that this has more of a narrative
Thread to
entire
it of
thread
like
to it.
Superman.
And I love what Nick's saying about having a B plot that does the
Yeah,
whole.
because what I'm thinking is B plot, right? Was red herring, throw people off the scent of like Lex Luthor's doing something. Clearly, he's up to something. We think it's him. We think it's him. We think it's him. Oh shit, it's not him. Who is it really? Oh, it's not the person you expected. It's this other person who's like, hey, sorry, I fucked this up royally.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to do? But because he was so scared the entire time and analyzing that as his own fear, being like, oh my god, what happens? What happens?
Yeah.
What happens? You got to give him that space to freak out on and learn something from.
Yeah,
You know?
and
Sure, and that's the thing is like keep in mind like the beats I'm giving you aren't there's a lot more shit in there obviously, right? Like I'm just for somebody at home like it's not, the things I told you and then we go right from
Sure. There'll be more to it. You're giving us the top level beats.
Yeah.
and not to
But I think it's
Spider-Man
cool.
3 this, but
Put Venom in it.
I love
Emo Spider-Man.
What you're talking about with the B plot of
was
like
a
throwing it
horrible-
off the scent. Like earlier when I cut you up and I was just like I'm in this and I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about who it could be. It's like I think that you should include like the B plot being it could be a whole bunch of these different
Yeah.
people.
That's
Yeah,
what he's
it
talking
could've
about,
been
right?
his
He should
rogues
be.
gallery from my
That's a
past.
great idea. That he's hitting up everybody who would be able to do this, and it is Brainiac, and like so he's
even
like going back to
thematically-
the fortress and seeing what's happening there. Like,
Or that's the other thing too is you could play around with what I like about this is that we're revisiting past and learning from them, right, and showing the mistakes and showing these different things. So like visiting people that he's already put in jail, these super villains that are there, and being like, tell me what you've done, and they're like, you put me here, man. Like I haven't done shit, and like not like just having to look at himself and being like these like going back and revisiting all those moments of good and bad things that he's done,
Yeah.
and then coming out and being like maybe it is good that I show people who I really am. Like
Sure.
maybe I've learned that I'm actually a good person. Me being here is good by revisiting these moments. Like maybe I should put that name out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's right. It's a great story.
Thank you.
Yeah,
a lot of
You know
work.
what it feels like? It feels like Superman, like an indie movie. A little
Sure.
bit, like the beginning of it, very intimate. Like if you were to shoot it.
Well, that's been my whole thing, right? Of like, I feel like
Like a diary.
I mean, you'd have these
The Diary
amazing
of Superman.
moments, but it really is just that intimate character, character.
and that's
dynamic
why I
between
want
Lois.
I don't want it to be at all like you read through. There's not fight scenes, right? There's like him pulling things out. It's him getting. I mean, there's gonna be fantastic him flying and the eyes.
I
and
mean,
stuff.
that's the thing,
But
like,
it's,
there will
hey,
be-
I'm coming back from fighting
Right.
Black Manta. And when she's like, you did the. I think he's like, it's day 2. I had just gotten done whatever in this world Superman revealed himself to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Diary of a Mad Clark.
there you go. There you go. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, being Clark Kent. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's really good.
Thank you. So
keep
we got a lot of
going.
work to do, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I'll keep you guys posted, obviously. The comic show, I'm sure that's going to be the most fascinating thing about Greg's Comic Book Club. We're doing a Patreon exclusive show, patreon.com/kindafunny for $1 every month, talking about required reading and then everything else I read and whatever else the guest press and yada yada. But it'll also be checking in
Updates
and talking
and
about like
stuff.
what I'm doing and where this is at.
Very
and blah,
cool,
blah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. When y'all when you guys air this, the actual panels will be coming up and
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that I mean, like, it's not only
I'll
Nick's
draw some
journey
of it.
of comedy. This was also very much I wanted to do this topic because of Nick's conversation way back in the day about what he envisioned the cartoon to be.
Yeah,
when you
animated
pitched
series.
the first episode of the animated series, long before we were ever going to do it, right? Like,
what
you
kind of
pitched them.
style you think? I draw
Oh,
like
for art?
Yeah, like a Jim Lee or like a.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that if I can get Ryan Otley on the phone and be like, "Hey, do this," or Andre. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of people you can tap into, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think a lot of people want to tell a story. It'd be fun. That's going to be part of the cool journey for you too. Is like, one of the things I love reading is obviously like I'm a film nerd. I just subscribe to American Cinematography, which is literally a trade magazine that's written from the perspective of cinematographers, not directors, not writers, not actors, the people that literally lens the film, like shoot the film. And what I love is seeing how they tell the story with their specific tool set, right?
Yeah.
And that was what you're talking about when you bring the artist to the table of like, I don't think you have to worry so much about panel for panel. Obviously, if there's panels that you need to have in there for specific purposes, but it'll be cool to see where that script goes, and then you put it in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing with books, and they go, okay, cool, and then they bring their eye to it, and they lens that.
Comics are collaboration,
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Real fun. That was part of the process of the animated show as well, where I was like, oh, cool, like I get to see
that's a cool style,
how my words translate in your head
Random
to your
people
hand.
doing
It's
stuff.
random.
Yeah, it's cool.
fucking weird.
Nick, what's your topic?
My topic is gaming disorder. There was an article that came out.
So that's a real thing now.
It's a real thing, apparently. We're gonna be the final word on that right now.
Our MD hats are on. We'll decide if this is.
This is an article. It was been written up everywhere, but the one that you linked to and you talked to on Games Daily was IGN.com or Egan.com, however you want to say it. Egan. Thank you. World Health Organization lists 2 gaming-related health disorders. This is from Joe Scribbles. It says the World Health Organization will list gaming disorder and hazardous gaming as health disorders in its international compendium of diseases. Part of the WHO's first major update to the compendium since 1992, gaming disorder is listed as an addictive behavior alongside gambling, while hazardous gaming is a pattern of gaming behavior, quote, that applicably increases the risk of harmful physical or mental health.
They'll get there in a second. Hold on. Joe's going to explain more.
There you go. The results of both disorders, as described, have received mass media attention in the past, and this categorization appears to be an attempt to allow for easier diagnosis and treatment. Gaming disorder could well be seen as linked to controversy around loot boxes and what constitutes gambling and gaming. Hazardous gaming is reminiscent of causes where individuals have died after extreme gaming sessions. Both disorders are currently part of the draft of the compendium update, meaning their specifics could change before publication. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, a separate compendium of strictly psychological disorders, does not currently list a gaming disorder, calling it only a condition for further study. I saw another article on this that called it an addiction as well.
Well, that's what they're playing into, right? I mean, I think
but I saw one that
point.
spelled out in no uncertain terms, like, is gaming an addiction? So that's my question for you guys: is like, how does this news sit with you, and what do you think about this? Is this something that people should be aware of? Are we bordering on addiction for people? Are we giving people products that we know are addicting?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, good topic.
I mean, I know that's what we talked about on Games Daily, right? I think when this came out, a lot of not industry people, but forums and stuff, people bristle, right? And it's always that thing of like when you bring up violence in games or anything in games that could be portrayed in a negative way, people bristle at it. But if we're going to sit here and this year, or 2017 was the year of having the honest conversation of are loot boxes gambling and is this taking advantage of people with addictive behaviors, I think you can't sit there and not turn that lens over to gaming. And I think that, there are people who have died from sitting there and gaming too long and ignoring everything.
Those are rare outliers, though.
100%. Right? I agree. But
it's not like 1 out of every 10 person who plays a game drops You
want to really
spin like cigarette smoking.
Let's fucking play solitaire tonight, see who dies. You know what I mean? Like,
ride the lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not die, but I feel like if there was other research done, I'm sure there'd be a more significant stat about how it affected their lives negatively.
And that's what this talks about too, right? It becomes harmful to the point where it could be potentially negative, have negative side effects to your life.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, everything has effect, right? So when you do something and the more you do it, that means you have less time to do other things and pay attention to things. And it's like, it's on each person to understand their levels of understanding of themselves to how much they can commit to a certain thing. But it is weird to think about how much that you have that drive to play a game, to do something. Like a perfect example is Disney Emoji Blitz, which we did the commercial and I started playing it. I'm addicted to that game now. Yeah. Like totally addicted. And a big part of that is because Gia started playing it. Like I played for a while and I stopped. I'm like, I'm just wasting my time doing this. Like there's no value here. None.
No trophies.
And then they're his trophies. They're
not for PSN.
There's no platinum. Not for PSN. Gia started playing it, and then it turned into a competitive thing between us, where like she was a higher level than me, and I was like, fuck that shit. So I started doing it, but now we're at a point where it's just like your lives get refreshed every hour, and every hour I'm thinking, I'm like, I can get some blitz in.
Dude,
it's a problem. It's not good.
No. I know what the cure is. Kids.
Yeah. That's what they tell me. That's why I haven't had any of those little monsters
Mischief and Mayhem, my 2 kids.
There it is.
They like destroy my gaming time, man. I don't get. I was playing Xenoblade and the girl with the big breasts came out. Which one was that? All of them. All of them.
Every Xenoblade character.
I don't know, but dude, I can't even play it because there's so many things that you got to do with each, blade or whatever, and so I just had to go.
But do you
back.
believe that do you believe in this, that the gaming is an addiction?
Yeah,
hazardous
because if I didn't have kids,
disorder?
I probably would actually have a beard instead of a baby beard because I'd be just there, doing it. If I had nothing but time, I mean, as an adult, once you make money to pay your bills, if I could just sit there and play. Man, I probably
yeah.
It's interesting for me because obviously, like, I'm the least. I play the least amount of games probably in this entire office, and that's pretty fair to say. And it's not because I don't enjoy games; it's because I do have an addictive personality, right? If you're wondering if I'm playing this up, no, watch me add things to my Netflix queue for 3 hours every night and tell me that I don't get addicted to just the organization of not even watching the movies, just like, hey, I really like just interacting with this platform like this because there's a bunch of options, none of which are very good, but I like to know all the options. Like, I'm the guy that goes to HBO Go every day and goes, I need to know what's at the end of the all movies list. But once I started doing comedy and like started doing things at night, I had to then start prioritizing of like, I can't play or watch 2 to 3 hours of movies every night because I need to be in an open mic until 9 o'clock. And then when I come home, I got to eat. And then I'm just kind of tired. And really, I try to go to bed by midnight. So I only have like an hour and a half of free time to play with. And that's when I have to choose movies or games, and movies shut my brain off. So I usually pick those. But I am very aware, like when I'm playing a game, because obviously it behooves the game designer to make the experience addicting to you, right? To give you those beats of, because they literally are designing it, right? They're designing it so that it keeps you going to the next level.
Well,
and
it's
you
their
feel like you're
job to
achieving
make
something.
the tedious tasks that you have to do over and over and again something that you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's just by making the fucking screen explode with like a level up thing. It's like, oh shit.
Oh, dude, I was so
just
happy when I
need
got
5 more of those things,
Right.
whatever those things are. Every
when I got
game
my
has
first
this to some
moon
extent.
and
Mario, yeah.
Odyssey, man.
I need more of that.
Dude,
I need
more.
998
Dude,
times of that.
every time you got it, I got the moon music, and,
Yeah.
and he goes like, "Yo!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yes, I got that fucking moon."
Seeing a purple engram drop in Destiny 2, you're like, fuck yeah, let's see what we
Yeah,
get.
that's
Get an
true.
exotic one. Woo.
Oh, dude, I can't.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm right there with
Kids
you,
kept
right?
me from Destiny 2. I can't.
Well, now you got Greg.
Because it's like, because I would go, you try to go on there, right? And then, you got to get off because of the kids. You come back the next day, they done jumped up
Everyone's
like
a million
20
levels.
So now you just like holding the coats in the corner because your guns ain't strong enough to. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to go.
Hold my cloak. I got to take these guys down.
Dude, I'm like, I don't want to. Come on, we getting on Destiny. I'm like, dude, I'm like 10 levels lower. I'm not holding y'all coats tonight, man.
Yeah.
So now you got to try to find, and then I don't have no friends, so you got to find somebody with a low enough
But
level.
see, isn't that like? But think about that, right? Think of the psychology right there, right? Is it like for some people it turns them away? For other people, it goes, oh fuck, I gotta put more time into this platform, otherwise I'm gonna be left behind. And so that right there is like just that feeling, that fear of missing out feeling, is a very powerful tool to keep you coming back to these experiences. And again, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I think you hit the nail on the head right at the beginning, where it's like you got to really be aware of it and prioritize your time like an adult, like an adult human being. And I think for the most part, people can.
But that's where disorders come in, right? Where there are people who can't, whether it's gambling or drinking or something. And that's why there are probably people who can't prioritize or can't do that with gaming, that it is too good.
I think it's important no matter what it is, whether it's video games, sex, drugs.
Too much of anything is a bad thing.
You should always be, when you're doing something,
Except for
LaCroix, when you're doing something, you need to stop and ask yourself, am
That's
I
a
doing
siren
this too
here.
much? Is
That's
there
a
something
siren
wrong?
here. You do.
Do I have a problem?
Yeah.
And if I have a problem, what do we need to do about it? And it's like, I think that's important for everybody to ask
Tim, this
themselves.
topic's actually an intervention for
I
you.
understand.
I apologize, guys. It's
That
time
is
to talk
quite
to him about
clear.
the real
That
problem.
is
Yeah, and his
quite
mom
clear.
coming
They just walk in with Diet Cokes and they just put them in front of you like, switch.
Yeah, he cries like that guy on that one intervention show where he was
That's
like,
every intervention.
I never learned how to read. Nobody taught me how to read, so I love LaCroix.
But no, I mean, you. So you were saying it seemed like. Do you agree with this? Do you?
I
believe this?
do.
Okay,
But that's the thing is I want people like as I try to learn more about nutrition, as I try to learn more about working out and being healthy and things like that, I'm aware of it as well, in foods where it's like Oreo cookies are a perfect example. I could sit and eat an entire bag of Oreo cookies, like the whole 3 ring Oreo cookies, right? I can easily do that. And I know I can easily do that because at least twice that I can remember in the last year, I have done that.
Which ones?
Just straight up Oreo cookies.
Any Oreo cookies?
Just regular
Oreo.
Peanut butter ones you like a lot too.
You know
don't
those Oreo cookies with the white fudge? The devil made them cookies.
But I don't know what they do to these
so
cookies. I don't know if
delicious.
it's by design or just the natural makeup of the sugars they put in these things. But for whatever reason, it doesn't trigger that thing in your brain that goes, "I'm full. I just want to keep eating them."
Well, 'cause they're just empty.
them, right? They are. I mean, it's all sugar, so
Yeah.
your body's like, yeah.
yeah,
They crash,
keep
crash,
going.
yeah. But I think it's because you're not getting any real nutritional value out of them, and your body goes, I still need more. I still need more of this stuff. But I became aware as I was like the last time I did this, I'm like, oh my god, this food is literally like designed to keep me fucking eating.
Wow.
I don't think it's a grand conspiracy. I just think they're like, let's just put sugar in this thing, and that's what sugar
Yeah.
does to you. But so I try to become aware of when I'm doing that because I still have a problem eating, right? I used to be really, really overweight. I used to when I encounter these types of experiences, I try to use that past knowledge of going, wait a minute, you need to take a step back from yourself right now and really realize what you're doing and this process, this cycle you're stuck in. Sure. And I've been there with video games too, where I've sat and been like, why does my back hurt? And then you look at the clock and you're like, oh fuck, I haven't gotten off the couch in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like that time my back went out on me.
Dude.
And y'all make fun of me still for it.
You didn't make fun of you.
Kevin did.
They did make fun.
Maybe
That moment was too real to make fun of.
that was a brutal
no.
moment. But that part of the reason why that had happened was because I had sat like for a week straight and played a game and didn't realize that I needed to get up and move around and like stretch. And I just feel like an asshole when I'm at home too. Like I put my feet up and I have short feet, so I don't get like I don't like lean this way.
This is
I
different
thought
than
it was from
addiction.
fucking.
No, what I'm saying is I get where that comes in. I get where that it's never from fucking. It's never from fucking. I should be so lucky. But I understand the process. I understand that like if it's a good game, that's part of the thing, right? And if it catches you and you're predisposed to that, or you have the psychological like makeup that's going to like, hey, I'm gonna get addicted to this thing. I totally get it, and I definitely think it's maybe something similar to cigarettes that creeps up on you over the long period of time, right? And that's my fear when
Where it becomes a habit.
Well, it's a habit, but then you look back 6 years later or 10 years later and go, fuck, I've played a lot of games, but maybe I haven't done anything else for myself that is furthering me in these other areas. And maybe I'm a little depressed because of that.
But see, my argument would be like, I totally believe you can get addicted to anything, and it's like even like
It's my
going
fourth cup of coffee today, so
well,
yeah,
okay,
you're 100%
But
true.
even the comedy, even
You got the
working out, it's like
caffeine
those are the
shake
type
shit.
of things when it's like, why do you do comedy? It's like you're not going to get addicted to the comedy, but being addicted to being on stage.
Oh, yeah.
You know, getting
Oh, yeah.
addicted to the need to perform, the
get that
addicted
laugh.
to the need to work out, and it's like, yeah, that sounds like a good thing, but then there is a threshold where
yeah.
that'll start affecting your life. And
Well, yeah,
it's like,
case in point, people start using steroids. Like, I really want to get bigger, I want to
Absolutely.
get better, and
Totally.
and that because those can have adverse
and that's why I
effects.
think with all of this, you need to stop and ask yourself, like, do I have a problem with whatever the fuck it is that
Well,
I'm
that's a
doing?
hard thing to do, though, right?
It is.
And
It's
that's the
very
thing.
hard.
I've been around
they have
addicts.
an
I
age?
know addicts.
Did they have an age limit, or they were just saying people in general?
People in
or-
general, I think.
Oh,
I think.
wow.
I mean, I'm sure it starts young because now every single kid gets a phone at the age
Yep.
of like 4, and there's mobile. You know, they just start getting into that process of like, this is real life through the screen, right? And so,
Oh, my son has iPad Pro.
Hell yeah.
He's always on there playing
but that's great though, because then you can
Roblox.
do a lot
well,
of things. on
because
there.
you can write on
Draw
there.
and
So
write and stuff, yeah.
I figured he could practice writing
Sure,
on
that's
there.
cool.
But dude, he's addicted to candy. Let me explain.
Be careful about that.
He's so addicted to candy. This dude made Play-Doh, like got some Play-Doh and made like a Skittles bag out of Play-Doh.
I can get
And a
you gotta
Nerds
be
bag.
Make
And
sure you
a,
get some edible Play-Doh, or else that could end
This is
poorly.
the thing
Dude.
that terrifies me, though, and this is like one of the reasons why I'm not glad that I don't have kids, but it's like a kind of like I don't have to worry about that. Thank God, is because I had a conversation with my friends once where he was like, I bribe my kids with candy. Like when my kids don't want to do something, I have to give them. They want candy. It's a
Yeah.
negotiation. I'm like, you shouldn't do that because obviously for obvious reasons, like
But
processed
yo,
sugars that are terrible for you. There's
man, but
links
my
to all
son,
sorts of.
my son learned how to use the potty in one day because we got him a gumball machine, and we said if you sit on the
motivated.
potty, he'll get the gum, and he learned in one day at 3 years old.
It's That's terrifying to me, though.
It's horrible.
I talked to
He's
my
got a
friend,
cavity now, and
he well, that's the problem, right? I talked to my friend, and I was like, "You shouldn't do." I mean, this is me. I don't have fucking kids. I don't know how hard it is when a kid wakes. Like you have this kid constantly that has this endless stream of energy. Telling you like just give him whatever the fuck it takes to shut him up.
Yeah.
But my friend's like, "Look, you don't understand. Like you don't get what it's like. You don't understand how hard it is. And sugar is like the only thing that like because it's so powerful. It's a little kid's brain. Yeah, it's a little. Just put it in the gums.
When I was back in Chicago, I went and hung out with my friends who have a kid, and we were Jen and I were hanging out, and this kid is I think 1.5, maybe 2 now, but super eloquent and can talk to you and can do all this stuff and eats all his veggies and we're like, what the fuck did you do? Like, and they're like, yeah, we never baby talked him. Like we talked sweet to him, but we never baby. It was always like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you go up, but you're not like baby talking. So we talked in full sentences. It was never mama or this. It was like, hey, mom's doing that or blah, blah, blah. And then it was also the fact that, we didn't give him sugar. I guess he's 2 because we didn't give him sugar till the first 1.5 years. And we didn't let people give him. So he never knew what he was missing. He never knew that he wanted
well, I
it.
mean, we don't let him, they don't drink any juice.
That was another thing.
Only chocolate milk.
Look, every once in a while,
they can get their 2 cups of chocolate milk a day. The rest has to be water. We cut the candy off, but he is addicted to it.
Well, don't take parenting advice from me. Because I'm still a giant child myself, so take all of this with a grain of salt. I don't know what it's like.
Dude,
I
wish we could. I mean, we give them a certain amount.
Yeah,
we give them luckily, my youngest daughter doesn't really. She's not really into sugar like that. And so that's good.
That's good.
But his ass.
I wish I could go back and slap the sodas out of my mom's hat.
Jen terrified me.
You gonna grow up to be Willy Wonka or something?
Jen terrified me the other day because she was like, when we have kids, you're gonna have to eat beans. You're gonna have to eat chili. You're gonna have to eat whatever I make because we can't tell them they can't be picky and then you be super picky. And I was like, well, guess what? No kids.
That's why you get a dog.
We feed our kids straight.
Porty can eat whatever he wants.
We're like, why is Porty gaining 5 pounds a week?
We're horrible parents. I'm asking for help, guys. It's bad. They eat like crap. But they do eat their fruits. And then when I make like string beans and stuff, he eats the string beans.
Well, it's just fucked up, right? I mean, just
once a month.
In general, that like we have a society.
You do it though. That's what matters.
But we have a society that allows like the mass marketing of all this shit to kids, right? Like if you like, I remember I watched a documentary. I think it was called That Sugar Film, one of those where they were talking about like how they looked back at research of how cigarettes were originally marketed to people and like how they were marketed to kids and tried to get them in cartoons at a young age. And like if you remember, like there was always cartoons where people were smoking cigarettes. That was by design. And then the sugar companies were like, oh, we can implement that same thing and start marketing it. That's why like every cartoon you ever watch is like Gushers, like right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then every cereal has a cartoon character.
Every cereal has a cartoon character. Dude, and why every single time at checkout, there's always the candy bars there.
Always a kid.
I used to smoke
at eye level, the kids looking at the fucking Reese's peanut butter cups.
I used to smoke too, man. Cigarettes.
Terrible.
And it was it was affecting my voice. And then that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get off of these cigarettes.
Heroin.
Then I realized heroin was the answer. and now I'm
little
good.
cocktail heroin.
This podcast's almost over. God damn it!
I need my fix. But what I realized was it become a habit.
Oh yeah.
There was specific times that I loved to smoke, and then it was the ritual of taking out the lighter. Lighting the cigarette. Because technically that first puff was awesome. The rest tastes terrible.
Terrible.
So it was just a habit. So I was like, I had
first
to really
gush of nicotine into your bloodstream. Like,
and after a meal, you know what I mean?
Or in the morning, or before a meal, or during a meal.
And like I said, it was
cigarette
a ritual
in a taco.
of pulling.
I mean, there were times like when I smoked. First off, I think there's not a day that goes by that I still don't think about smoking. That's the sad thing. And I've talked about this before, but every time I smell cigarette smoke, it's amazing to me that I could have 2 very distinctly polar opposite feelings. One of which is that's disgusting. And then literally as I'm having that feeling, I'm like, I wonder if he has another one for me. Right? I want
Kevin
one.
That was the other thing I hated too, because your hands would smell.
Oh, they stink, right? Well, I mean, my sense of smell is pretty much gone because I smoked for so long, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, it's a thing I think about. I think about the times we used to go to the Brisbane office with Ty, and we'd have the ritual. We'd get Starbucks, we'd smoke a cigarette, get back in the car, get out, finish the Starbucks, smoke another cigarette, go upstairs, drop our shit off, come down, smoke another cigarette. Like it was just anytime.
Then
you
it was
needed a break, let's go
lunchtime.
out.
That was my first 3 years of IGN was literally what Nick just said, where it was get to work, You know, do the morning meeting, walk outside, you smoke a cigarette, like we talk, we come back in, do a little bit of work, shoot the daily fix or whatever. You look at me, it's about that time. Go out, smoke a cigarette, get lunch, come back, do some more work. You want to get some Starbucks? We go to Starbucks. You
Tim, you never smoked.
I never smoked a single cigarette.
It was a ritual.
It was a ritual. It was a ritual.
And the
Rituals
control,
are addicting.
the control factor that I'm an adult and this is something that I'm doing, and
I'm doing this for myself.
You know what? I know I'm killing myself, but you can't tell me I can't kill myself.
It's my God-given right as an American to kill myself with a cigarette if I want.
Exactly.
I built a relationship with Nick, doing the exact same thing. Like the first year of Kind of Funny, like he was smoking again, right?
Yeah. I never quit. Well, I quit a little bit in there.
Yeah.
I was trying to.
And then after 6 months, you're like, my lungs hurt, and I was like, all right. And then I was able to just quit. And then Cool Greg started working here, and we started smoking again. And then, same deal. He was like, "Hey, I'm having trouble breathing." So I was like, "All right, let's quit." So we quit, and now it's been like what, a couple months now, Greg?
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Is it only weeks?
He's like, a couple months. It's been 2 days.
It was our 2018 New Year's resolution.
I think it's been like 2 months.
It's been a whole year.
This week, quit.
No, but it's crazy. I mean, that's the thing for anyone out there that thinks that you might have a problem or you might be addicted to something. Like, please get help, because
talk to somebody. I'll
tell you one thing right now. It's not, especially with cigarettes, right? I can't talk about quitting anything else. I've never really been addicted to any other thing other than, I guess, food. You don't like. It's not that I feel better on it. It's that I don't think about it anymore. And you can get to a point where you feel that way, right? Because when you're in the middle of smoking, like you'll remember this, with like the thought of kicking that habit, like it's literally like cutting out a family member, you know, or like breaking up with someone you're madly in love with, but you know you have a bad relationship with. Like you can't imagine your life without that thing, right? And then eventually you get to a point where you're just like, I take breaks, but I get up and get a cup of water, or like what, I just don't think about it anymore.
I mean, it's me and Coca-Cola. Me and soda. I mean, you guys know how much fucking soda I drink.
I love soda.
And it's just like, granted, I'm drinking a lot of sparkling water, but it's water.
Yeah.
And it's like that. This shit, no matter what anyone wants to say, this shit is undeniably 100% better for me than Coke.
Dude, I got off of soda when we first got into the industry, because we were only like 17, and soda made you have zits. So that was when I first got introduced to sparkling water, and so I would just pretend that it was Sprite just because of the bubbles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at the point where it tricks me, man. Like, it tricks me, and I've said this a million times on the show, I'm sorry, but like, Coke tastes too sweet to me now. It's like when I have soda, I'm like, I'll still never fuck with diet soda, no matter whatever happens in my life. I won't do it.
It's that aftertaste.
But it's just, there's something about it where it's like, my mouth, if I have a can of Coke, I need to wash my mouth out after.
Oh, he has that film.
Yeah, it's just there's like a film, and I'm just like, ugh.
I'm trying desperately to quit artificial sweeteners. So I'm trying not to drink Diet Coke. I'm going to rephrase that in my brain so it's a little bit more of an affirmative statement. Something I've learned over the years. I'm not drinking Diet Coke anymore. Largely because I don't really know what that does, but I want to see how I feel without drinking 2 to 3 Diet Cokes a day. Who am I kidding? 5 Diet Cokes a day. Right? Because I got to a point the other day where I'm like, I literally have gotten to points in the last like 6 months where I'm like, have I had water today?
Whoa.
Isn't that a weird feeling?
Bad.
Dude, I drink a lot of water.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I like drinking water, and one of the tools that I'm trying to utilize to get myself to that point is I put the ice in the water now. So I get that sound, that tactile sound of the ice jingling around.
Put the bubbles in the water.
And it's working, because now I'm trying to train my brain to crave the ice in the water and that sound of it and the feeling of it in the glass, and then
like get out, and then I go to the sunken place.
Yeah, you go to the sunken place, and then Catherine Keener kind of has her way with you, and you're like, "This is hot."
Yeah. Go ahead, do what you want.
Did I miss the point of that movie?
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy show, each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gabble around this table. Ooh, I screwed it up. If you like that, head over to Patreon. Gabble around is what I said. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunny, where you can get each and every episode early as us really recording it, as late as us just putting it up on Friday the next day. But then a week later on youtube.com/kindoffunny, the entire show posts as one big video in MP3 for your listening amusement. No matter where you get the show, thank you for your support. Remember, there is a new hoodie on kindoffunny.com/store. You can go get it. It's got the smiley on it. We'll get you one. We'll get you one.
Awesome.
Pre-order right now, but we'll get you one. Don't worry about it. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. SisQo, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, man.
Always a pleasure. We love
Thanks,
you.
guys. See you soon.
We'll see you at Kind of Funny Prom. You're not allowed not to come.
I'm not.
Until next time.
We got to figure this out.
Until next time. His Kevin. Yeah, okay. Until next time. It's been our pleasure to serve you. Thanks for watching the Game Over. Fuck, I'm bad at this now. It's a week. You know, it took a year off or whatever. I don't even know. 2018, I'm garbage. Thanks for watching the GameOverGreggy show, everybody. Click here to subscribe. Click here to support us on Patreon. Click here to go to SisQo's channel and watch his music videos. Click down here to see Nick be Nick.
I hope that's a link to my Twitter or my Instagram.
Nobody ever knows.
Damn, how many inches is that? 1,000.
65.
65. That's
And
what's
Nick
on
wanted
my-
to go
that's what's on my
smaller.
wall.
Well,
Lexi and Daly are saying, did Tim have a topic? There were 3 topics, right? We wanted the bullshit in the beginning to be the bullshit, just where we were going to catch up with each other and talk around a bit. But then also we went along with the Superman topic. And that's now
I was
the
thinking.
joy of having the one big podcast, that we
yeah.
are not anchored to doing 4 topics.
I thought it was
if
really good,
we have a
by the
great
way.
show.
Right.
And I thought that was a great show.
I was thinking we didn't hear Tim's topic.
Yeah.
That beginning bit was just
Okay.
like that. We're gonna ramble.
Well, it's our first time in. We wanted to get going and do all this different thing. And so, yeah, this is your post show now, where we do the post show after the 45-minute pre-show where nothing went right for us. Kevin, how mad are you over there about the machine failing and all that jazz?
Oh man, this is really bad.
Yeah?
I don't know what to do on the machine's end. So tomorrow morning I have to come and call Black Magic and see what they're gonna tell me.
Yeah.
Not only that, we have to wait for this stream to like
Export.
back
Process.
itself up. Yeah, process in YouTube before we can download it, before we can start editing, so that it can go up tomorrow at 9 a.m. So that's gonna.
Well,
be fun.
we might slide in the 9 a.m. I think people understand technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Right? Not to mention, you could do the same. I mean,
We didn't get to look at our gorgeous faces and see how we.
what you could also, you figure too, everybody's understanding, right? For Patreon, you could just put this up as the video and say, hey guys, we are dealing with this huge problem. We're gonna put this up as the video today.
But
there was no
no,
ad.
yeah, you're right. That would.
So
be
there
the
won't be
video.
a lower third. There won't be the thing. But people are here for
there's
the
also,
content.
like time codes. Do time codes go up on Patreon as well?
They should.
Okay, because
But we can skim through and find that.
all the time codes are slightly off from the. Hold on, they're gonna be very off from the Patreon version versus the real version.
Sure.
So
I think
someone
there's.
has to go and figure that
I
out,
say that there's extenuating circumstances this time around. I think you can put this up. I'll gladly skim through and try to get time codes for people. But I'm sure
No, I get
people
you.
watching on Patreon would be happy to put them in there too.
And Tim, we'll send you a photo so you don't use one from 2000.
Oh yeah, please do. Please do.
Wait, we should get a
Dude,
photo
it's
here
hard to
before
find-
we do. Before we go, by the way,
You
for
just
social
took
media.
one.
Oh, did you? Okay, great.
Awesome.
I want that. I want to post that.
We'll get a nice one. We'll get you over here and get a real one and stuff. Thank you for all the kind words in there about
Yeah,
the
you wanna
Superman
take one
stuff.
Thanks, Cuzzo. He has an eye. It's a good eye.
Well, for the thumbnail, you should get closer in on him. Because
Oh, no. For the thumbnail, I don't want this for the thumbnail.
I don't want this face for the thumbnail.
Oh, just for a picture. Okay.
Just a picture.
We'll send you the thumbnail.
There we go. If you're an audio listener, no, I guess audio people don't see this. They saw this, the pre-post show stuff.
Got him, says Ronnie.
Dude,
Sanchez.
yeah,
when,
man.
when
I
did you
do
send me
both,
that?
though.
Because we're gonna need to do that. Like,
Listen, like
We're gonna
tonight.
do,
Is that good?
yeah.
Or like,
Could you do it
have
like now?
Kevin? Yeah.
Because
Everybody like Cisco. A lot of people are
Go
saying that.
Awesome.
Kev-
Thank
Kevin's
you.
in a row.
Thank you for all the kind words about this episode. I like this one a lot. This is, I think, the benefit of getting to just do one again, right?
Yeah.
You can go short on some topics and you can way long on others. You can do everything.
Enigmatic C1 says comic picks was great, topics were cool, and Cisco nailed it.
Damn right.
Awesome.
I think we're like 3 for 3 on this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I felt good. That felt like a good one.
Dude, I was really into your Superman story.
Thank you. Thank you.
good.
We
Thank you.
all were like kind of
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
standing around.
It's been it's really fun and exciting doing something this new because I haven't thrown myself like it's what I always talk about with this stuff, right? Or when I talk to somebody about like hosting a panel or doing this, like I haven't been nervous to do this shit in forever. And that's good and bad in a way, right?
I think it's
Whereas
good.
this is like a total now I'm being thrown in here. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm talking to people in the comics industry. I'm like, I shouldn't be talking to you. This shouldn't be a conversation
But
we're having.
That's
I was
that's,
visualizing everything you were saying.
Thank you.
that's part of the thing that I've realized that you need, right?
Oh, sure.
Is that for the longest time the reason why I didn't do a lot of things is because I was like I don't want to do that process of fail,
Yeah.
succeed, fail, right? But that is the most important part. It sounds silly to say, but like that part that you're describing, where you're like, if you're like, I'm of the mind right now that if you're scared of something, that is you're exactly in the right spot.
Yep.
That is exactly what you should be doing. Because if you're not, it means you're probably sitting on your couch blading through endless fucking screens of Netflix, and that's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I'm proud of you, and that was a great pitch.
Thank
I don't think I
It was.
don't don't think you're too far from where you want to be as far as like.
Well, you know, but you know how it is better than most people, I think, right? Of like, I sat down and wrote all this stuff, and as I'm writing it, I'm like, wow, some of this is awful, but I'm gonna keep going and come back to it later and worry about it.
Smart of you, because most of the time, especially with the animated series, I wrote it, I'm like, nailed it. Let's just go.
Print, publish, record.
Tim's like, I'm like, it's already recorded.
Well, the problem with that though was there was a lot of production and stuff. Whereas this, it's like literally Greg's job is just to write it.
Yeah.
Right. And then just
well, you will get into that revision place.
Oh sure, yeah. Oh no, totally.
Yeah, but I think that's great. And that's like, you know, I think it's part of the fun of what we get to do here is we get to actually absolutely share that process with people. So I don't think you should ever shy away from that.
Oh no, not at all. I'm not.
I think you may have someone watching this or someone watching this on Patreon or later in the episodes. You might have just stoked something in them, and they might write the next best comic movie or the next something. I don't know.
Something cool. Paul Tarascios here says, "I like that I don't have to know a lot about the universe outside of just Superman." And I thought it was interesting too because it's another thing with American Alien that the issue on the boat. And all that
right.
There's a lot of characters that I'm like, I don't know.
I should know you, but I don't know you.
And that was the thing is, I felt like I should know them, and I didn't. And so I was like, this is weird.
Didn't he like pluck Deadshot away?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. He was like pretending to be Bruce Wayne. That was cool.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
What a great plot.
Right. Did he got drunk or something? Didn't he?
Yeah. Superman got drunk. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Short post-show, well, not even. We've never said anything, but like we were a long-ass pre-show, and there's still a lot more shit to film and edit, and we got a whole thing to rebuild over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for support on Patreon. We love you very much. Support SisQo in all manners. He's coming to your town eventually.
Yeah.
Come see him when he does.
Get the app. Drew Hill app.
Yes,
Drew Hill app? That's good. I'll get that too.
DRU Hill.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Noise.
Noise. Oh.